Yes.
Good evening. Good evening. Hi, everybody. It's your girl, ANIYA, the host of the Economic Crisis Workshop. And as you know, it is 2/17, another beautiful Wednesday. And we have a number of great people with us who will be sharing their experiences. They'll be sharing their life's journey, as well as some great advice, not really like advice, but you know how we do it here on the Economic Crisis Initiative team. And we are so glad that you're joining us live via social media on different Facebook platforms. We're going live on Instagram as well. And we are recording on YouTube, so you all can share this later. Presently, we have my sister, Denise Williams, who is going to take us in with a beautiful meditation, and she's just going to do what she does. And then we'll be right back with the other great people that are on board.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So let's get right to it, guys. Let's set the intention for tonight. Tonight is going to be epic. If you can get in your comfortable position, whatever that looks like for you, whether you're sitting, whether you're laying down, I hope you're not driving, but wherever you are, get comfortable and straighten up your spine.
Yes.
Bring your spine in alignment from your tailbone, moving through your abdomen, your chest area, through the top of your head, and allow the crown of your head to just connect with the sky so that it's one straight line, one straight beam of energy that is flowing through you and from the sky back through to the ground. Allow your feet to absorb the energy from the ground. And now I want you to look, fix your gaze on something soft ahead of you, close your eyes, wherever you'd like to be. And 1 second. Continue to breathe. As you're breathing, allow your lungs, your abdomen to fill, completely fill. If you're sitting, allow your belly to press up against the tops of your thighs and just fill your lungs as much as they can to capacity and hold it. Hold it for a few seconds, as much as you can, and then easily, gently let it all out through your mouth. Allow yourself to calm, allow yourself to be centered. Continue breathing this way. I'll share a little bit of the Tibetan bowl and some affirmations to go into tonight. Continue your breathing in through your nose, completely filling your belly and your lungs, filling yourself with whatever your body needs at this time and being aware of anything coming up in your body. Filling your body with positive, with wealth, success, and preparation for what you're about to receive tonight. And also the seeds that are about to be planted within you to be birthed into something later. We're getting pregnant tonight, guys. We're getting pregnant with greatness, with abundance, with success, prosperity. Soon we will birth these babies and we can come back to the table again as we meditate once more and share in the joy of what we've been able to accomplish. Continue to fill your breath, fill your body with that positive energy. Fill your body with the vibes of what you want to manifest. Fill yourself with calm. as you continue to breathe, I'm going to give you a few affirmations that you can meditate on tonight, tomorrow, and any other day after this as you catch the replay. My life is full of abundance. I am increasingly magnetic to health, wealth, abundance, prosperity, and money. Every day, I am attracting more and more abundance into my life. I am a success magnet. My life is full of unlimited abundance. I am open and ready to attract abundance into my life. I am abundance. I am attuned to the frequency of love and abundance. I am wealthy. I attract success. These are abundance affirmations by AHMED. Keep breathing, guys. And I just encourage you to enjoy tonight, take notes, and continue to breathe and fill yourself with the success, prosperity, wealth, and knowledge that is ahead. And allow yourself to birth greatness because it is within you and it is your destiny. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Denise. We are going right into this. I'm so ecstatic for this group that we have tonight, all the great energy. And as you know, we kind of had a lot of issues getting here this evening. For those that don't know, sometimes when you are doing all that you can to be great and amazing and give the world everything you have, because you're not selfish. Thank you for joining us on Instagram. Mr. Terrence Floyd is with us this evening. Miss Brooklyn is in the house. Thank you for watching all over Facebook and Instagram. Share, share, share. And at this time, I want you guys to know that I want to thank Miss Denise Williams for helping put together this panel, Mr. David for introducing his friends and bringing them on board. And now we have at this time, Mr. Arlington Gordon, who I'm going to let you guys know about. And he is a friend of David's and he's a friend of ours here on the economic crisis team because he has a story that we need you to know about. So stay tuned. And again, share this message with all of your friends because we want to empower you tonight, right? That's what we're here for. Arlington Gordon, he is the co-chair, co-chair is the manager for ABN AMRO's Corporate and Investment Banking. KYC, there's a lot of acronyms there. I love it. You need to let us know what they are. KYC onboarding team in New York. He has 13 years of banking experience, having worked at JP Morgan Chase, ITAU Unibanco, and BNY Mellon, to name a few. Previous roles involved KYC, AML programs, OFAC audit and regulatory projects, AML systems and launch, being a team leader. Arlington has a Bachelor of Arts in Government from John Jay College of Criminal Justice and a Master's in International Affairs from the New School. He is a certified financial crime specialist. We have a real team here tonight, y'all. Come here, somebody. Hold on, I get excited. Thank you. He is definitely, like I said, a certified financial crime specialist, certified anti-money laundering specialist, and certified compliance and regulatory professional. This brother has accolades beyond recognition. I love it. And in his spare time, he teaches himself self-investing, real estate, and other wealth building strategies. Welcome, Mr. Arlington, to the Economic Crisis Initiative Workshop. Two hands, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Actually, it actually sounds really when to read it off. So it does has a nice pitch to it versus writing it. So thank you for that.
Of course.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity to be here. You know, thank for asking me to join this forum and this opportunity to speak to them and to the crowds and the people that are either hungry for knowledge or information or just to try to connect. I will try to leave some of my social contact if need by ANIYA towards the end, and we can definitely share it out to whoever needs to be. Yeah, so my understanding, this is a pretty impromptu style of approach, and I will try to kind of give a highlight. So that accolades that everyone is mentioning, I'm in my early 40s, just to give a so I'm not quite young, but I don't consider myself to be old either. But that was something that, you know, I wasn't born with this kind of motivation. So I grew up in pretty normal life, but not really inspired to do anything other than to do the checkbox. Okay, I got to go to school, or I got to go get undergrad. But I wasn't like, you know, oh, this is my dream career, this is my dream job, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. That was not there. On paper, I come from a pretty well-to-do family. I have siblings that are doctors, people who own businesses, successful on paper. But in terms of like the real nuggets that make people successful or help people to be successful, like understanding that emotional IQ and those kind of things was non-existent. So a large period of my time in my 20s, I was basically lost. And when I say lost, again, checking the box, I went to college, completed school, but I didn't have a direction as to what I wanted to do. I worked in government. I was uninspired by that. And I quit my job and I went to grad school. I lived overseas I went to school in Hong Kong for a semester. And that is when I kind of learned like, ooh, okay, I don't have to do this government. The private sector is far more interesting. When I came back, I had no idea what to do. So I was just so again, I was like a career student in my 20s. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I stayed home, lived in my mom's basement. I would do a couple classes, drop a couple, take the school loans out, use the school loans to take care of my social life and travel nonsense. Time I would work, and then I would do it all over again. So by the time in my 20s, I racked up a nice $150,000 worth of school loans, right? Still didn't have a full-time job yet. Didn't have a proper mentor to say, hey, you know, need to focus. You know, I had a good mom, hardworking nurse, professor, again, on paper, stellar. And she'll always tell you, like, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that. But I was also super, 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 super stubborn. And that was consequential because it wasn't until my late 20s, thankfully, a friend of mine was like, why don't you just do consulting and grad? So that's 28 when I started my journey, if you will. I graduated college at 21. So you're talking about the 7 years adrift, right? Which is a long time when you're thinking about wealth building and investment, what you could have done so differently if you just, you know, fine tune something here, you know. So for a while, I did with the shoulda, coulda kind of mindset.
Right.
And that can be very defeating. So now hindsight, I understand that you need to have a very short-term memory for things that don't work out for you, and have a real resiliency to bounce back. So I won't go into every single stage of the event, but I would say from a standpoint of a career, at least having a kind of focus, it started around my late 20s. And I started out in banking. It was just the right timing with the industry and what they needed. And I just rode the wave of that since that was my core strength. And yeah, so by 28, and then I had two early 30s, and I purchased my first home, my wife, probably around 2011, which is just at the height of the financial crisis. Back then, Brooklyn, right? Average home prices were, you know, for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, you know, modern, updated, at a range about 300,000-400,000. But in certain areas of Brooklyn, they had pockets where they weren't selling too well. So at a steal of a deal, 250,000 a condominium in Brooklyn with parking and veranda, right? With washer dryer, which is like a big thing, right? Like you got washer dryer, veranda, parking for $250,000. Like wow.
Wow.
And it was FHA. So I don't know how people know about FHA, but that's like 3.5%. So you do the math on what that is. It was literally like a few $1,000s to own the home. So that was a combination of timing and luck, right? But keep in mind, so for that was also help of our parents giving us the money, because we were building our savings, but we weren't that savvy yet with the savings. We didn't have enough money to really pay that. And I had that 800,000-pound gorilla of 100, nearly more than half the value of my home of a school loan, just waiting. Right, I just kept doing the forbearance, you know, the deferments. Like, all right, I'll deal with that later, and the interest just kept on saying, "We waited for you, buddy." So yeah, so that's the issue there. Now, lesson learned, and what I would say to the audience, different age groups: be very fair. That does not have any kind of potential return of investment. If you're borrowing a loan to get capitalized in something like an investment or stocks, that's good. But school loans, be mindful. And FYI, the Biden administration is not going to give you that $50,000 forgiveness everyone is talking about. It's going to be probably 10. So wow. Just be very wary about seeking debt. The other piece about that is spend the time to understand what you want by speaking to people, understanding the industry that you might be thinking. A lot of times people go into school, you know, because of job loss. Oh, I want to do this. And then they rack up $30,000, $40,000. How is that job market post that? Is there an alternative way, certifications like what I have, to kind of supplement that work? It might be cheaper. So that would be my sense advice when it comes to managing educational advancements and debt. So for my story, again, anomaly to the situation at hand, I luckily have, and this just goes into something that people might not be aware about, that Black folks or brown folks should be aware. It's called generational wealth. Correct. So my mom, in her smartness, had funds for me. I forgot how to set up like some kind of not a trust, but it was allocated where I wasn't aware that it was there, and I used that money to down the schools. She had given me money when I turned 21. She had given me like something like $20,000 to get started. So it's not like to say, hey, you know, I was born on the hard side of life, right? I was just not motivated, inspired to do anything great. And there could be a whole host of reasons for that. I think partially paternal exposure and environments that did that. That $21,000, I think I blew that within real quick. You know, and then in the late 90s, 2000, it was more important to look like you got money as opposed to use money to make money. So things like buying a nice car, packing them rims, tints. I mean, I was definitely looking tight. I was looking good.
Looking good.
I was lit. I mean, matter of fact, I was real lit. But whew, I mean, I was definitely looking good. But yeah. It was a sweet car. But damn, any car you buy is a debt of wealth.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, long story short, with that was a big mistake. Had I taken maybe 5,000, put that into some kind of IRA or an account, and granted, she just gave me the money. She herself didn't know any better to say, you know what, you shouldn't spend this. Her style was always to work and save, not work to get wealth, not work to compound that, make that 5,000 go 6, 7, 8,000. And I think that mindset of like, you know, if you don't have it, you're like, oh my God, I just got this $20,000. What's most important right now? How I look, how I feel, how the world looks, represents me. Right. So I'm gonna spend, you know, and that's what I did. So long story short, that money was gone. Fast forward to my early 30s, I got lucky, timing, got into a house. And I think once I was able to get into a home, and again, this is a lot of my friends also kind of coming up, they're getting married or whatever the case may be, and trying to buy their first home. We kind of, maybe law of attraction or something to that nature, started to mature slowly. And you know, started talking about like, oh, you know, where do you buy a house? And oh, I got this, and what's it value? And it just started out just by luck, discussions around properties and real estate and so on and forth. But at that point, I wasn't really into it. I didn't have an investment, an account yet. I started way later, very late into that. But I understand 401k, I understand it's savings. And I definitely understand, okay, I should be scared of that. So credit things, they were more important to kind of get down. And that's a lot part of my early 30s. During that period, as I said before, you want to know how successful you are. You just look at your circle sometimes. If you're around people that don't think, you know, wealth mindset, right, probably not gonna get there. So if you are about that, you want to circle your audience or your crew, your friends in that way. So we started about it in the context of a WhatsApp, you know, chats and stuff like that. Like, hey, you know, what's this? What's that? And one of my friends, he was like, yeah, you know, I got the VA loan, so I can get another one. And I was like, wait a minute, another house? You buy 2 houses like that? And it was just like, whoa, I never even thought about that. And through the network we found out like, oh yeah, you could actually do this. And he was buying these houses, places like Atlanta, right? Everyone's in New York or the Northeast. No one's trying to go down there, but that was his first project. And through some networking, I got involved on a small project where it was a flip. You know, it's like, hey, if you lend me 10,000, I will get that with interest. And sure enough, within less than a year, that worked. And I was like, oh snap! I just made $5,000-6,000 extra. Wow! Did it like a couple. So I was like, wait a minute! I just grew my savings by just lending to someone, and then I got back over. Okay. So that's how I kind of knew like, okay, I needed to have a lot of liquidity. So that was sort of the things I was kind of involved in. And then I kind of realized like, all right, my job is good, but I work finance, and finance is sometimes a very full environment where there's layoffs, there's downturns and so on and forth. So in that space was got laid off in my job, and I was like around 2015. That was devastating to my ego because I just decided to splurge again on a car, a luxury car. It was a beautiful car. And then like 2 weeks later, I got to notice that, oh, you're laid off. I'm like, great. You know, they gave you a nice package and everything, but like, you're like, damn it. Like, you know, what do you do next? Luckily, I've always been very, eventually in my 30s, kind of understanding, just being with a network, understanding the U Inc. mindset, which is like a branding concept where you treat yourself like a corporation, like, you know, how you know, your skills for your job. And it's like, okay, a good writer, good, you know, oratory skills, making sure you have the competencies to perform your job well and stuff like that. So I definitely got more motivated in those late 30s into that space. That has helped me kind of get into the mindset of like, okay, wealth building, right? And now I know I have to be mindful of my time. So let's hear. Am I good with time, AniYa? Because I know I got like minutes.
You're good, but I actually wanted to pause you real quick.
So I'll just see.
No, it's okay, because we have people live
Sure.
that are watching real quick. And this is one of the things I forgot to mention with my group and with the team. I got calls coming in. I have people walking in the door. Curtis Smith is with us, who's very interested in this whole thing, as well as with the taxes and different things that we're going to be discussing this evening. We have people watching us all over Instagram and Facebook. I'm getting alerts all over Facebook real quick that David G has an age debate. That's from my brother, Michael Hernandez, who knows you very well, David G. So that comment came in. Sandy, the Urban Cinderella, is saying, hi, my people. I saw a ton of other comments, and I was letting Mr. Arlington speak, so that's why I wasn't able to respond. But as you guys know, during the Economic Crisis Initiative, during any platform, we have the ANIYA show. We always have a very interactive group. So if you could hold that thought real quick, Mr. Arlington, I would love for Mr. Curtis to introduce himself if he would like to. I know he's in the building, and we also have another brother that's in the building with us, and we have Mama Brenda that's also live with us from the National Action Network. She has joined us. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Arlington? And then we can do a quick intro, and then we can come back and then go right into listening and getting some great word from Mr. David. Mr. Curtis, did you want to introduce yourself live or no? He's always behind the scenes real quick, but I want to shout him out. You could just say hi. Thank you. I always like to show love. Mama Brenda, are you there as well? Just to say a quick hello. You right in here.
Good evening. How are you?
Hi, I'm Curtis Smith. I just had one question about taxes.
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, perfect. That's Mr. Curtis Smith in the building. And we have Mr. BEKOE. Miss Brenda. Mama Brenda is here with us as well. Mama Brenda.
How you doing? Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
All is well.
All is well. Are you
Tired,
listening?
but I'm here. Yes, I'm listening.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. So Arlington, I guess, you could take us to where you are presently and maybe share some inspiration as far as how you were able to build the wealth that you were able to build. And then we could follow up with you, maybe with an email address.
Right now. Oh yeah, I'll let everything out there for you guys. Yeah, so 2020, COVID, lockdown, pandemic, and the world on fire. Family challenges, family illnesses. A lot of meditation, exercising was a very good key piece to keep myself focused, disciplined, on track. So in that space, one of the areas, as I kind of mentioned before, I did not start investing. So I started really late 2019 into 2020 with $2,000. Opened up a TD Ameritrade account. And this year, or as of right now, it is actually, David, 50,000. And I haven't put an ounce of dollar into it since. So over the course of the COVID and when the stock market was plunging and everyone was like, oh my God, I'm selling. That's when I decided to do a lot. Now, you just don't go buying any random stocks. And of course, there's a plethora of information, what to buy, how to buy. I decided to follow the method of the stocks that I purchase. I have it be where if I buy it at $5, over 5 years, it'll be $20. I want to have it for $5 and earn interest on that, which is known as dividends. So a lot of the portfolio that don't pay monthly or quarterly dividend. These are stocks that are in the real estate space, what they call electronic traded funds, ETFs. And these stocks are a basket. So that's one area that's, that's been phenomenal. 2000, what I did was like a savings account, understanding investing, X amount, nothing too crazy. And I just got in at the decline. I think the biggest decline was around maybe March, April. what was like the lowest point in the stock markets, when I just load up in a whole areas of different stocks, and I just kept going up. And there were stocks that went up really high and plunged, and it would give you a heart attack. So I learned early on, like, take emotions out of investing.
Yeah.
Right, because you will lose money. It's not about emotions. It's about the numbers, being disciplined, knowing that even when it's up and down, in the long run, it does improve. Over the last 30, 40 years, the stock market has grown on average 10%. So that's my 2 cents, right? Pick stocks that can pay you interest, right? You want to earn money as it grows, but you also want to earn interest, right? Because my strategy is to be able to replace my salary, not going to my salary, but to be able to earn 100,000 a year off of interest in all the stocks. This year, even though that $50,000, notwithstanding the value, I've earned about close to $2,000. That's $2,000 of cash that I didn't do anything for other than owning it. Now, what I contributed into that stocks was far less, but the value of that stock is 50,000. I probably put in way less. I have to actually look at that, but it's grown a few 100%. I have stocks that are over 1,000% growth, Teslas and the others. So my 2 cents, that is not about stocks, but I would focus more on the electronic space, electronic vehicles, the green energy. That is a very hot area to pay your attention, and your long play meaning long-term investments. Not all those pay dividends, but the value of those shares can be astronomical for a long-term investment strategy. On top of that, I also got into crypto. That has also exploded quite a bit. Started out with a few $100s, and last time I checked, it was in the tens of thousands. And again, not putting in a lot of money over a period, just bit by bit, consistently. So what I do, I treat my investment like another savings, right? I just put in a bit by bit.
Wow.
Talking real quick about that property that I own in Heights. Again, not exactly the nicest area. You don't want to I want to move there, but New York and real estate, over that period of time, the property doubled, right? And we had a lot of equity. So I took out equity out of that property and bought a brand new construction in Brooklyn, a 2-family, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, each unit, central air, the full fireworks. And we did refinance. This is all in 2020. Everything I'm sharing with you right now is all 2020. Refinanced it. And between the 2 properties, which is worth about 1.5 million or so on paper, our mortgage that we pay for them is about $450 a month. That's my out-of-pocket for owning the 2 properties.
So real quick, we're gonna come back, Arlington, to you. That is amazing.
I collect. Okay, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that is awesome.
Okay.
We're going to come back to you because we have a ton of new visitors. We have new people in the building with us. You guys can't see my screen, but we have 2 gentlemen here. We have other people that are on their way. We have Ty, who just joined us from the Economic Crisis Initiative. We have the tax doctor himself who has joined us. He won't be speaking just yet. He will be on in just a few minutes, but I'm glad he made a grand appearance. It's been a crazy day for a lot of us. And at this time, I want to thank you, Mr. Arlington. Your story is phenomenal. You have literally taken $1 and made 50 cents or whatever they say. You know how that goes. And we want to stay in touch with you. If you could stick around for just a few
minutes. Not done.
What is it? What'd you just say?
Okay.
No,
I'm not done.
You're not done. All right, so
done.
Stick around because I know you have more to share. And as this time is approaching, because we have David, who I want us to jump in to start. But before we have the next speaker, I want David to speak. And then again, at this time, I want everybody to stop what you're doing and share all over your platforms. We have a ton of people watching all over social media right now. Thank you for those that are watching on Instagram and Facebook. And as you know, we are being recorded live on YouTube. Ty, did you want to say anything? Oh no, Ty can't say anything. She's watching, but she's here in spirit and in truth with us. And I'm so excited because this is right up her alley as a young person. So when she gets a chance to speak, she'll let me know. But in the meantime, share with all of your friends and followers. And at this time, we want David to jump in and say a little something about who he is and why this panel is so important and why he's here with us.
Wow, you know, I just love hearing Arlington speak about everything that this is living proof, guys. You're seeing somebody who in the last year, 2020, has made phenomenal growth, guys, who's actually done it. Because this is what it's all about. And this is what I preach about, you know, because it's one thing to talk about problems and all the things that's affecting our communities, but it's another thing to take actionable steps.
Correct.
And execute, right? So we're going to give you the game, okay, guys? We're going to give you what I call the cheat sheet, because I know for a fact what we're talking about is not taught in schools, and you got to understand the purpose of why, right? They want us to keep us dumb, deaf, and blind so they can profit off of our ignorance, right? So I'm just going to share my screen real quick. My name is David Germain. I'm a licensed real estate broker here in New York City, right? I've been in the broker business now, in the real estate business now for 8 years, and I help people get their generational wealth, right? So I hope everybody can see the screen, right? And if you can't see it, I'll read it off, right? So this is one of the things that wasn't taught to me in schools. And Albert Einstein, and I know a lot of us know Albert Einstein, he said that compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. He said compound interest is the 8th wonder in the world. He or she who understands it earns it. He or she who doesn't pays it. I'll say that one more time. Albert Einstein, we all agree that he's a very intelligent man, right? Famously said, compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. He said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He or she who understands it earns it. He who doesn't understand it pays it. Now think about that statement, right? Now, a lot of us, we put our money, our hard-earned money, in the bank, right? A lot of us do that, right? The question we have to ask ourselves, why do we do that? Now, what does the bank, when we give them our hard-earned dollars, what do they do with that money? And guess what? If you don't know, they use it for compound interest. Now, I wish there's a little more interactive where I could talk to people and say, if I had a question for you guys, if you had a choice to get $3 million right now or get a penny that's doubled every day for a month, which one would you choose right now? And this is for everybody. So I want anybody, if you're hearing us on Facebook, any of these lives, I want to know, would you take the $3 million that's given to you right now? Or would you take a penny that's doubled every day for a month? Tell me, what would you take? Come on, guys.
I'm taking my
I don't know.
$3 million.
I think I might take that penny just to play lucky.
So Mr. Biko says he's gonna take the pennies. I'm taking the $3 million because 2 times 30 is still like $5. Okay, I'm not the best mathematician. Sorry, I'll just mute myself.
All right.
I'll take the penny.
Take the penny. It's a trick question.
I'm taking the penny.
All right. So the thing about it, most people who don't understand compound interest will take the $3 million right now. So I'm going to show you, right? If you were to take The $3 million right now, if you can see my screen, you can see right now what a penny, if you took it and you made that choice, even though in day one it's only 1 cent, but every day that it doubles, right? This is the power of compound interest. I'm showing it to you, right? On day 29, the person who took $3 million is winning. They feel like, yeah, you guys were crazy for taking that penny doubled every day. But guess what happens on day 30, guys? That $2.6 million now doubles to $5,368,709.12. Now, knowing what you know now, are you going to take that $3 million right now, or would you take a penny that's doubled every day for the next 30 days?
I guess I'm doing the latter. Okay, you got me. I was just testing you, David, to see if you knew your stuff. You know your stuff. You got it. Okay, I'll mute myself again.
So the thing about it, the thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, we're usually on the opposite side of compound interest. Think about our credit cards. The average person who has a credit card, what are you paying in interest? 20%. I've seen cases of 30%, 15%. This is what the bank is doing with our free money, right? So how do we now participate in that game? And Arlington is clearly sharing his story because this is what changes everybody's life. And I hope everybody takes a screenshot of this, because this is what changed my life when I learned about compound interest. So what are some actionable steps, right? Another thing here, right? The time value of money. I know it might be a little small here, right? So the thing is, we all can agree that the cost of living every day is going up by at least, does anybody know what the cost of living percent-wise is going up by? I'm gonna let you know.
Too much, David.
It's about 3% every year, right? That's the cost of living. Goods are getting, everything is getting more and more expensive, right? So the thing is, my question to everybody is, what kind of assets do we know? Because a lot of us know liabilities. What kind of assets do we know that can return at least 10% interest? Okay? So what kind of assets do we have that we know? And the problem is, a lot of us don't know any assets that can at least give a 10% return. Well, guess what? By you guys coming to this, to AniYa's show, you guys are going to learn some things that will give you at least 10% interest. Does anybody know what the interest people are getting at their banks? Anybody tell me?
0.001%.
0.001% or none percent?
Okay. So we're getting less. We're getting less than 1% interest. We're not even getting a full percentage, guys. But now the thing is, if we can invest as little as, let's say, $3,000 a year into any vehicle, whether it be real estate, life insurance, stocks, right? Anything that can get at least a 10% return. If we do $3,000 from the time you were 15 years old, and all you did was just invest $15,000 at the age of 15, ladies and gentlemen, by the time you are 65 years old, you have $1.6 million off of $15,000, right? The thing is, a lot of us, and there's an article in Forbes, a lot of us Americans, age 65, and this is a tragedy, a lot of us don't even have at least $10,000 saved in our bank account at the age of 65. Think about that. How can we talk about generational wealth if we don't know what to invest in, right? So I'm going to share some things that we can invest in. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a financial advisor. I repeat, I'm not licensed. I can only tell you information that has impacted and changed my life, but I am not a financial advisor, but I'm giving you great advice, okay? So I want everybody, if
Sorry,
they
real
can.
quick. Sorry, real quick, David. We just have one quick question. How,
Yeah.
well, you know what? Should we save the questions for later? Like we said we would?
Yes, I just want to show them something.
Perfect.
Because Arlington talked about something that I never knew about until last year myself. It's called an ETF. It's called an exchange traded fund. How do I break that down? It's kind of like a mutual fund, in my opinion, on steroids, right? Now, I'm going to go into, if you want, go to this website called etfdb.com. etfdb.com, right? And in that website, you can look up some ETFs. I'm going to share one ETF that I know about, right? And it's called SMH. SM as in mouse, H. Now think about this, guys. I'm gonna blow this up. I want you to see the performance of this ETF if you was to keep your money in this account, in this ETF for just 1 week. Can anybody tell me what they see the interest will be in just 1 week, guys?
5.68, am I correct?
Now, we just all agreed that the banks are giving 0.001%. The last time I checked, I never saw a bank account that can give at least 5.6% in 1 week. Now, here's where it gets sexy. If you kept it in for at least, I don't know, for 6 months, do you see this right here? 49% interest. If you kept it in 1 year, 71% interest. That's just on one ETF, guys. And if you kept it in 3 years, 159. Now, I'm going to go to even another one, the ones I invest in, right? I'm just showing you some stuff, right? Another one is ARKK. This is how we turn our kids into millionaires. Because if we would have bought some stocks when we were like, I don't know, 1 year old, if our parents would have bought stocks and left it for us and then we get them when we're 18 years old, if we would have bought some Apple stock when we were like 1 year old, and then our kids turn 18 years later, how much do you think those Apple stocks would be worth? Or today, if you bought Airbnb stock, what do you think Airbnb will be worth in the next 10 years? Or some of those electronic vehicle stocks, right? I'm just sharing you things that, we just don't know. So here's another one. I put in ARKK, right? I'm going to show you the holdings. Does anybody recognize any of these companies? We got Tesla, Roku, Square, which is called Cash App, Teladoc Health, Zillow. Anybody know Zillow? We buy houses on Zillow, right? Then we have CRISPR, Spotify, Nvidia, Shopify, PayPal. The list goes on, right? I'm going to show you something here with charts, right? Because I know a lot of us when it comes to the stock market, we don't know it and understand because we fear what we don't understand, right? Now, this is a 3-month chart. In 3 months, has this stock gone up or down? I'm going to show you in 6 months. Has this stock gone up or down? It's been going up, guys. I'm going to show you in 1 year. Has the stock been going up or down? It's always been going up. I'm going to say 3 years. In 3 years, has the stock gone up or down? How about 5 years? In 5 years, if you can say, would you say 5 years is a good enough period of time to discern if something's going to go up or down? This is 5 years of history. The stock has always gone up. So now let's look at the performance, right? This is where it gets crazy. If you kept your money in this for 4 weeks, you'll earn at least 6% interest. If you kept it in 6 months, 77% interest. In a year, I know some of you guys don't have bank accounts, 168% interest? What are they doing at that? In 3 years, 286% interest. And look at the 5-year return, guys. If you kept your money in there 5 years, 964% interest. Which bank is giving you this type of interest? I'll answer for you. None. Right? So why are we not putting our money in this? Because we don't understand it. Right? You know, because this is what's going to help us to get the money that we need. Because your money, as I like to say, has to make babies. If your money isn't making babies, it's not working hard enough for you. And we don't know how to invest our money properly. I'm just showing you one vehicle, but this is one vehicle. Everybody should be opening up at least a TD Ameritrade account. A TD Ameritrade account. This is how you buy those ETFs. This is how you buy those index funds that Warren Buffett talk about. Okay? So the next step is, you know, we need to know the difference between assets and liabilities, right?
David,
And a lot of
sorry,
Yes,
David,
ma'am.
can we put a pause on that because we have our
Sure.
next speaker, because you have
ma'am.
the majority of the time, Mr. David. First of all, thank you so much for that. Give it up for Mr. David. Oh my God. We have people live in the building. Hi, everybody. Welcome on Instagram. Welcome on Instagram. Listen, David, you have so much information, a wealth of knowledge. If you don't mind, can we minimize the screen? And we will have Miss GREDDA BRUMMEL, who you also brought on board. Give me 1 second. We have a bunch of people watching, praise God. And I'm going to introduce Miss GREDDA. In the interim, maybe you can answer this question for us, David. How can people get started? Since we have a couple of seconds, how can people get started? Because that's one of the main questions that a lot of people ask. Then we'll come back with the questions and answers.
Well, when you talk about getting started in the stock market, real estate, life insurance, which one?
I believe the stock market game, because that's what you were predominantly speaking about, and getting the interest and things of that nature.
All right. So
And ETF, the question is the ETF, sorry, ETF.
Yes, I like to use TD Ameritrade. The reason why I suggest TD Ameritrade,
Okay.
because they have educational videos and they have webinars where they teach you, especially if you're just now learning. I know a lot of us are learning through Robinhood. That's another one where you can get started on. But a lot of times Robinhood does not show you the fees and all the things that you would need to learn. So there's levels. Robinhood is a good start. That's where I started as well. But then when you want to go to the next level, you need to have a TD Ameritrade account just so you can buy things across the world in any market with TD Ameritrade. I'm not sure how you do it with the Robinhood platform yet, but that's a good start right there. At least with TD Ameritrade, they have a thing called Think or Swim, where Think or Swim you can play for free and learn how to trade before you start playing with real money.
Yeah, I would just second that too. Like if you're coming in new from an investment standpoint and like regulatory tax issues and so on and forth, TD is a much more transparent platform to deal with.
Wow, thank you so
That's just
much.
my compliance hat there.
Wait, what was the last thing you said, Arlington?
No, I'm saying using TD Ameritrade would be better for tax structure, whether you're going in either as an LLC or individual. It's just better, it's more transparent from a tax perspective.
And you know
from
what?
I've been told.
See, and that's why we
Right.
as a people need to know certain things, because honestly, even when it comes to taxes and different things of that nature, we're kind of not sure about a lot of these things. So hold that thought, Arlington and David. At this time, I'm trying to bring up Miss Greta, and I was looking for her beautiful bio. And Miss Greta,
I sent it to the email.
you did send it? Sorry, give me 1 second. Sometimes the technology in 2021 is not up to par. Forgive me, give me 1 second as I look for Miss Greta's bio, guys, because I think this woman is phenomenal. And I'm so happy that she's here with us. And actually that email did not appear, Miss Greta. It came in void. Would you mind sharing about you before you get started, Miss Greta? Because I feel so bad, but it's not showing up.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Hi, everybody. How you doing? I'm actually coming from Kentucky.
Yes.
I'm actually here learning about all the wonderful things that you guys are actually discussing, so I can bring it back to my community.
Yes.
My name is Greta BRUMMEL. The reason I have a mask on because I'm at the Muhammad Ali Convention Center here in Kentucky. So it's a pleasure you guys having me on. Thank you, David, for having me, and Naya to have me here. I'm a mom of two out of Brooklyn, New York, single. I'm building a business in multiple states, but my main mission is to educate people of color and just people in general, starting from the young kids. So I hear you guys talking a little about vehicles to save a vehicle that compound and things like that. But one of the things that we got to look at, we have to look a little more behind the scenes. We have to research and find out where most of these major companies get their money from. And one of the things that people do not look in plain sight is that they get rid of the things that's much more expensive and they think they don't need, which is your life insurance. Okay? So how many people have been to Disney World before? Good. Did you know Disney World was founded by one of the largest insurance companies in the world, utilized by Walt Disney? How about Walmart? Okay, not to mention many other things like in order for you to build a successful business and run anything, take a look at McDonald's. How many of you walk into McDonald's and I'm sure all of you, I love fries. Where do you find the fries when you walk in? Left or right? Do you see it? If you do, it's a system. That's how you build everything that you do. Now, I'm here to talk about some things. I have a very short amount of time right now, but I'm gonna put my email in the chat if it's okay. All right, guys. First thing I'm gonna go, I'm sorry I didn't have a PowerPoint, but I would love to be invited again so I can do a PowerPoint in short notice. But some of the things I literally learned today. When you think about a life insurance, right? You don't think about, that you're going to use it while you're alive, right? But guess what, guys? You can use it while you're alive. All right? You have to just find the right one and the right company to put it in. But guess what? Life insurance can be used for 10 different things: retirement, death, living benefits, cash funds, working capital accounts, real estate management, emergency fund, lump sum capital transfers, tax reduction, and pension maximization. Did you guys know that? I can't go into detail for all of these things, but those are just some things. And guess what the added benefit? You can use it when you die. Who's using it when they die? Not me, right? But also you can actually use it, give it to your kids as a legacy, right? I'm gonna tell a quick story. I owned a brownstone in Bed-Stuy. In order for me to find the right tenants, I used a real estate broker. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? They sent me the credentials. One of the credentials on the bottom said something called Southwestern. Are you guys familiar with Southwestern? It's a
The
life
airline
insurance
company, Southwestern, the airline?
Nope.
Oop, never mind. I'll mute myself.
No, that's okay. But guess what? I didn't think nothing of it until I started what I was doing. This gentleman, Caucasian from the Midwest, he had a fund of $929,000. He was 25 years old. Now, what difference that can make for our African American individuals when you pass away? I would say to give choices. I have two girls, 19 and 13. First, we have to educate the value of money. Second, we have to give them it, right? How? Not directly, but show them how it's compounded, like David mentioned, okay? He mentioned something grows at 5%. David, I'm gonna tell you this. Stock markets are insecure and volatile. Look out for the crash to come, but what person is gonna sit there and watch it? Why don't you put it where it's safe, tax-free, not tax deferred? Guys, some people don't know that. Let me tell you something. If you utilize your life insurance, right, while you're alive, you don't pay taxes on it. Okay? You can borrow from it. There are different ones. David mentioned something called index funds. Some people think that there's one kind of life insurance, which is a term. A term can last 10, 15, 20, 30 years. But remember, there's something called an index universal life. That is something you could utilize as a retirement fund, a college fund, a living benefits, and I'll touch on living benefits just one more time. Also, you could use it as a capital management. Real estates use it. So say, David, you have a client who comes to you, they want to buy a house. Their credit is pulled, and guess what happens? They can't get it. Yep. They have to save, right? Yep. Is there a way you think they can save it?
Unless they have somebody like you.
They could put it away. Okay, I'm gonna give you, I have 7 years. I'm not ready to buy a house right now, but I'm gonna come back in 7 years. Is that okay? I can show you where you could put away where it's safe. You don't have to worry about it. All right, guess what? You can utilize it to purchase a home. That's one of the things. Another one is living benefits. Now, I utilize this because I realize that we as African Americans, you know what, I'm not gonna lie. My parents came here as immigrants. They've got hypertension, they got, diabetes. Guess what happens? Those things are detrimental to our community. Now, if you had a $500,000 policy and you had the option to use $490,000 of it to go somewhere, even back to your own country, to go to a doctor and say, hey, guess what? I can utilize this money to get better, detox my whole system. I don't have diabetes. I'm not in a stress-free environment. I can use it to pay my rent, not just medical bills. There's a difference between disability insurance and an insurance company giving you a check. Two different things. Okay? Some people are not informed of these things. I apologize. Informed of these things, but guess what? I'm here to tell you, there is a way for our ability for us to leave a legacy wealth. There's a difference between that. The difference between is that we don't give that education to our people and our children. Teach them young, and they will follow the right way to be responsible with their money. All right? Living benefits is one of our key things. I can touch more about it, but guess what? I'm super excited that you guys put me on this platform. And David, I wish I could talk more, but today I actually got an opportunity to meet a gentleman called Doug Andrews. Now, I suggest everyone, his book is called Laser Fund. I think, David, you know it. Awesome individual. It talks about the 401k, talks about 529 plan, talks about the 478, all those numbers. Your 401k, that's a tax code. How many have a job? How many work from 9 to 5 and you get, a 401k, put it in? How many people have a pension? They're going to cease to exist. They're going to cease to, I'm happy if it's a pension. Hey, you're probably like 50, 60 years old, right? Pensions. They're like ancient. They came about when Ford decided to give their employees this ability to have a lifetime income. We are living too long. But guess what? The pension, if you're getting a $9,000 pension in today's society, that is not enough money. Because guess what? There are medical bills. There's so many other things. We talk about some things like you have 5 family members, right? In a household, mom, dad, 3 kids, right? Little Johnny goes to school. Little Samantha is headed to school, and guess what? The little one stays at home. Your tax bracket changes, right? Because you've lost 2 individuals. Guess what happens? You guys, people don't realize these simple things when they're doing their budgets. You start with 2, your tax spread is different. That's the time you save money. When that first child is born, that's where you save the money. You put them away in the index universal life, compound that interest. All right, it's whatever this index is, it mimics the stock market, does not participate in it. It has all of the ups and nothing of the downs. It's something called zero is the hero. Okay, I can elaborate more, but that takes a little more time. But there's so much more knowledge that I'm actually learning here. There was something else. I'm literally taking notes. So when I bring it back to you, I'm going to let you know. So there's some ways. Have you guys heard about 7702, 101A, 72E? You guys familiar with those?
A little bit. I've heard a
free.
little bit.
Yes. So there are actually ways that you can actually utilize your life insurance, right? TAMRA, FEMRA, DEFRA, those things. These are things that I'm learning here, and I'm super, super excited about it. I see it in the chat. Guys, I can't really take it down, but you can actually send that to me, and we can have conversations more about it.
Well, you know what, Greta, real quick before we have other questions, because we're going to have the tax doctor up next. And it's so funny that you're talking about taxes. You see how everything is working out tonight? OMG, exciting. Awesome. Greta, you're going to be a part of this family moving forward. So trust me, this is not the first and last time we'll be together. There's people asking questions. What's the name of that book again that you were just referring to? We have a few notes on the board, but I don't think people could see the notes. However, Greta and David and Arlington, whichever one, all of you, please send me all the information that you're, saying or what have you, snippets of it, and then I can do a blast out to the community. We have the Economic Crisis Initiative every Wednesday evening. This is our workshop, so this is just a little different from what we typically do. And in this conference space, you can't see our conference room, but this was where we would be if the pandemic wasn't happening, right? However, we still have a major TV screen and things like that that we utilize. But send me those snippets. You guys can interact via the chat. Go ahead, David, and then back to you, Greta.
I want to piggyback because I don't think everybody understood how powerful Greta, everything that Greta just said, and how powerful insurance is. Because, when you think about it,
yeah, she had me like this.
Right? Think about this, right? Who suffers the most in healthcare? Think about it. We're the ones that get the most diabetes. We're the ones that got the most hypertension, right? And a lot of times we may not die, right, and get those benefits, but we're still living with these ailments, right? And because what Greta said, the living benefits, guys, I don't think you understand how powerful that is, that you can actually get money from the life insurance policy while you are alive. And in case something happens to you where you can't physically work, think about it. The reason why most people lose their homes is because they get sick and they can't work. Medical bills, right? So the fact that if you have a life insurance policy like what Greta's talking about, living benefits, this is going to save, because this is what happened when my mom had cancer. When my mother had cancer, even though she left us 5 properties, and I'm going to go real quick, she was in the hospital. And that means the income that she had, we couldn't maintain the mortgage of the house unless we came together as a family to actually help keep the mortgage up. But imagine if we didn't have any money ourselves and we depended on that income, we would have lost the properties.
That's right.
But if my mother had a living benefits insurance, if she would have got cancer, she can't work, she would have automatically qualified to get the money from the life insurance, would have put less stress on the family, which means that we wouldn't lose the properties and we wouldn't have to sell, right? This is the powerful thing that, and this is what all the wealthy people have. And this just came out. I don't think living benefits was around a long time ago. This is, I don't know, I'm not an expert on it, but it gives you peace of mind to know that if anything happens to you physically, that your family is taken care of. You're not a burden on your family if you're sick. So I'll leave it at that. And it's tax-free.
Thank you, David, so much. I love what you're sharing. For you, Greta, as well, this is so important. And I'm so glad Greta is actually in a session for those that are just now joining us. So that's why she's moving around. She got thrown into the mix, but I'm happy she did. And we're going to do a follow-up session with Greta for sure. Anybody else have any questions? This is your time to ask. Actually, this is our time to just ask a few questions to all three of the panelists, and then we'll keep on going. How about that? Anybody else? You can unmute yourself now. Curtis, I know you had some tax and stuff.
Yeah, David, I have to jump off. Is that okay? I do. I'm still in a space where but I really appreciate you guys. But I've got to jump off.
Okay, no problem, Greta. Can we stay in touch, my beautiful sister?
Absolutely, yes.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, Greta Brummel. She is
Look at my face.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you. So Greta will be in touch with Greta, and she will be able to communicate with us further moving forward. I'll make sure everybody is staying in touch. As you guys know, I'm super passionate about this. We do have a couple of questions coming in from our sister, the youth advisor of our team, Ms. Ty, who wants to know certain things about mutual funds and what happens when the mutual fund goes down. I'm not an expert, so I'm going to let somebody like David really quick answer that, or Arlington, and then I will share a quick video commercial spot. So go ahead, David, Arlington, one of you, because Ty is asking in the inbox.
All right, so to answer that quickly, a mutual fund is just a portfolio of stocks as well. The difference between a mutual fund and an ETF or index fund is that basically you got to pay fees, right? You pay a little higher fees when it comes to mutual funds versus an ETF or index funds where the fees are a lot smaller. But they act and they mimic each other. They're pretty much almost the same, but you just got to look at who's managing the mutual fund. And a good book to read about this is Money, Master the Game by Tony Robbins, okay? Please read that book. It will tell you a lot about what we were learning today. Money, Master the Game by Tony Robbins.
Thank you, David. Arlington, I know you have a lot of experience in this. Yeah. And also, Mr. Dollars are on my mind tonight. Tax Doctor, if you have anything you want to share, you can definitely unmute yourself. And then, of course, you're going to do your thing. Arlington, go ahead, Doll.
Yeah, I would second what David just mentioned. The mutual fund is a more less riskier growth as opposed to an ETF, which is a far more aggressive form of income. Mutual tends to be the display that David showed with the percentages. A mutual fund will be maybe half or 1/4, 1/8 of that growth rate, while an ETFs
Arlington, we're having a hard time hearing you, Arlington.
So gain a lot more faster. Really? Is this any better?
Yes, better. Can you repeat that last?
Do you hear me now?
Yes, that last sentence, ETF is aggressive.
Yeah, the mutual funds tend to be a more slower growth over a period of time, while the ETF tends to be a bit more aggressive, faster. The drawbacks, obviously, is when there is decline, you'll see it a lot quicker as well, too. I would just say when you're selecting ETFs, look at something that's called a dividend yield. Dividend yield gives you an idea as to, how much a percentage, similar to what David was showing with the interest, what percentage they pay, right? And I'll drop one more nugget as to why TD Ameritrade is really good, right? If you want to project what, all right, how much stocks do I need to own to have $100,000 in or $1 million in. TD Ameritrade has a platform called Estimator. I use that a lot to try to mimic the kind of stocks that I would purchase, how much of it costs, and it lays out exactly like a nice little platform.
What's it called again? You broke up. What's the name of it?
Break up. What is going on? I'm dropping nuggets. I can't break up right now. It's called Income Estimator. It's the only. It's a platform on TD Ameritrade. Yeah, and this is what saved my investments from the previous decline. Because a lot of people were talking about, oh, get the Apple, oh, get the Netflix, so you'll spend like $5,000 on a particular stock, but the dividend yield was so low, you own it for $5,000, but only earn $5. While some stocks have a higher dividend yield where you buy $5,000 and you get something like $50 to $500. So that's how I was able to figure out where to put the dollar to get the return on investments. So when people were bragging about I had $100,000 portfolio, mine is half that, but my return is 3 times more than them.
Woo!
So that is if anything you get,
right, Dave?
the income estimator.
That's a jewel.
It lays out exactly, that is the crown jewel given to everyone. You can mimic, you can pretend, similar to like the thinker one. Okay, how much would it cost me to buy 10 of these at, let's say you want to spend $200, and you can add all the different stocks, and you will see what your my threshold was to mimic everything at a $500 threshold. What does $500 give me in terms of return on investments? How often will I get paid with that? So that $500 I would put in, I would put 10 different stocks, compare them, and then you'll see, okay, the one that everyone is going crazy about, it's not paying me much, but it's just like the in thing. But this quiet real estate investment trust that's like real low, it's been paying consistently the last couple months. For $500, I'm getting like $50, quarterly. I'm just making up the numbers, but you get the idea, and some of those stocks pay monthly, not quarterly. So you kind of figure out, okay, how much of these can I pay that pay monthly, right? So the income estimates allow you to manipulate the data. So you can kind of gauge out, how am I going to spend my money, right? I spent a lot of hours during the quarantine and COVID at nighttime after work, playing with that information and doing snapshots on my Excel sheet and saying, oh my God, the only caveat, I'll put it in there because I'm not a financial advisor, but the risk with it is it looks at the previous payouts over time. And it's never ever guaranteed that the company will always pay in the future tense. However, they do replicate stocks that have consistently paid over time. So if they have like anomalies where they don't pay, that they'll also tell you that in the income estimator. They say this one is not showing up because they haven't paid their dividends consistently. So that saves you a headache in managing that particular risk, right? And my investment strategy is about passive income. I want to put the money in, leave it, and not have to spend any energy looking at it, right? So with that approach is what allows someone to kind of, as you said, compound it, build the interest passively. It's like the Warren Buffett model. These guys sleep and make tons of money, right? And they do absolutely nothing sometimes. How do they do that?
Wow.
So income estimator, TD Ameritrade is what David plugged in. 2 good sources. The TD Ameritrade has a very good learning platform, what David mentioned. Good nuggets. You can learn a lot about the different trades. And like what we focused on mutual funds and ETFs, I would focus mostly on ETFs. What David mentioned is the platform to use. As a new investor, I would start with ETFs. And then once you get comfortable with those ETFs, you can actually buy those individual stocks outside of it as like a hedge. My tech that has Google and whatever, you know what, it's doing really well. I'll buy some of those outside of it. So you have an idea as to what you're dealing with and what's your portfolio is like.
Thank you so much, Mr. Arlington Gordon. OMG, I just want to take a lap around this whole building. I want to do a couple of backflips because I feel like you gave us, look, pow, pow, pow. Oh, yes. That's why David was like ANIYA, Arlington, Arlington, GREDDA, Arlington, Arlington. You know, I see now, David. I get it. Shout outs to Mimi's Vision. Mimi, aka Miss Mishka, is here all the way from Toronto, Canada. I say Canada, you say Canada, whatever. We know where she's from. We love her, and she's here. Real quick, I'm gonna do a quick commercial spot. As you guys know, as a part of what I do, I am also in the business of promoting and branding and getting people more information and their information out there into the world. So real quick, am I able to share, David? Yes, I am. I'm going to show you guys actually who the tax doctor is. He's actually on here with us this evening. And this is his quick commercial spot that we kind of converted. And I like what we just did with that. This is the tax doctor who's on with us this evening, who will be speaking momentarily. 1 second. Let me move this little gadget out of the way. Here we go. Wait a minute. Why isn't it playing? Huh. Why does it want to play with? It was doing so well. Okay. This is the tax doctor's information.
You have to stay on mute. You have to hit the volume on the end on the right.
On the other right?
Hit it on the where you see you see a little cog wheel, and then you see the 2 arrows.
Like how far right? Because it can play.
When you see the little cog wheel. Yeah, I know, but the volume is not on. That's why you can't hear it.
Oh my God.
You see the volume?
I see pause share. I see Anna something. Anna I see a little, wait, she's saying go over there. Oh, why isn't it mute?
You see where you're near, you have the cursor near the right. Now you're going to the right, keep going, lower, and then you're going to see you have a volume button right there.
Oh, wait a minute. There's something I have to move. Up, you're the best.
And put that up.
Then from Tax DRX. How are you, man?
I am doing amazing.
Yes,
onward and upward.
Onward and uptown. Now he's in Harlem, in my hometown, and I'm so glad.
I'm back home.
And people uptown should know you are the tax resolution guru. If you have any problems, if they're getting ready to garnish your wages, let me tell you, Tax DRX handled my case in 24 hours. I didn't owe a dime. 877-908-1040. Okay, let's talk about the Affordable Care Act. Will you be penalized on your taxes if you don't have health care?
You're not gonna be penalized. Correct.
And if you always wanted to be a tax DRX, here's your chance.
If you're a CPA, an IRS enrolled agent, or a JD, which is an attorney, you qualify to do what I do. And now you could be a tax doctor yourself.
877-908-1040.
All right, guys, that was actually
brother
the voice of Shayla Scott of WBLS. That wasn't my voice. I know I sound like her, whatever. Anyway, we have the tax doctor who will be joining us at 8 p.m. So we're going back to that original time. I'm going to unshare, and when he comes on, I will reshare. But David, is it okay if we continue moving forward with you, and then we can go back to, getting you to close out and things like that? But the tax doctor will be available at 8 p.m. to speak with us. Is that okay?
Sure.
Perfect. David, you could share screen unless I have to share your screen. For those that are asking about different ideas and different stocks and different things like that, do me a favor, join me on the WhatsApp. As you guys know, I have 2 different phones, 15 different phone lines, but the phone line to join, make sure you have WhatsApp, is 347-617-6873. I'll say that a little slower, 347-617-6873, because we want to be able to send and disseminate all this information and also email you. So if you're interested in learning all these different caveats and interesting information and great tips, please send me a message ASAP or email us at theniashow@gmail.com. David, Germain, take it over, brother.
All right. So the reason why we had this panel, because we want to give you're only as good as your team. And the word team means together, everyone achieves more. We always live in this notion that we get out to do it by ourselves, but no one knows it all, right? And when all of us make choices and decisions based on the knowledge, information, and circumstances that we have at that particular time. So you always heard the saying, man, if I knew better, I would what?
Do better.
I would do better,
Yeah.
right? This is the reason why ANIYA and everybody on this panel is taking the time out so that, and time is the most expensive thing that you'll ever own, right? It's the most, because you can't get your time back, but we're giving you guys actionable steps, the blueprint, the things that you need to start your generational wealth, right? And when I think about wealth to me is like a table. See, a lot of times we'll work out one arm and we forget to work out our left arm, or we might work out both upper arms, but we forget to work out our left leg or our right leg, right? We're not working out everything, right? And I say this because I live through everything I'm talking about. And first thing is we got to work on our health, right? That's why we need people like Denise and our mental health, right? Because the book that changed my life is by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. You can't grow rich if you can't think it here. Wealth is here in the mind first. So you start with your body and your mind, right? And then the money is going to start to come. The next thing is real estate. I'm a real estate broker, right? Now, how do you go about purchasing real estate? A lot of us don't know how to buy real estate, right? So a lot of us, we do know how to spend our money, because a lot of people say, well, I can't buy a house. And I say, well, I can look in your closet and I can see a down payment for a house in your closet, right? I would see people with shoes and it would look like I'm in Foot Locker in their home, right? But yet they say, I can't buy a house. Or it look like, I don't know, the Gucci store or the Louis bag store. I mean, it's crazy and people talk about I can't buy a house, but we only understand liabilities. We don't understand assets, right? I hear people say, oh, I can't invest, right? Well, I'll see certain people buy a weave for $1,000 or buy some shoes for $1,000 or buy some dresses for $1,000. I'm not calling out any guys are doing it too, right? We buy liabilities. We just got to understand the difference. We got to invest. We can't say that we don't have the money. We do have the money. It's how we're using the money. And is our money working for us, right? So that's one of the things I wish I knew back then, because when I was younger, I got hit by a car, and thank God I don't look like what I've been through. And I got a settlement for $100,000. Now imagine now you're broke your whole life, right? And all of a sudden you get this lump sum of money. A lot of people say, oh, I know what to do with that money if I get it. Or if I win that lottery, I'll know what to do with it. But guess what? They say a fool and his money shall depart. Because a lot of people pray for more money. I always say Solomon, which is, I'm not going to preach here, he was the wisest person. He said, I want more wisdom, right? More knowledge, because the worst thing to ever happen in your life is to get money and then you don't know what to do with it. And then you end up going back broke because you're still using an operating system from 1970. You see our smartphones, if you notice, they're always doing what? Every other week or every other month. You have to constantly what? Upgrade. But statistics show that most of us in high school or college, if we went to college, that was the last time we end up reading. And guess what? Knowledge is outdated every 6 months. So what you learned if you graduated in 2000, what you learned back then, guys, I'm sorry to say, it's 2021. And the stuff that you learn now is not going to be congruent to what is today's society, right? But here's the thing, there's so much opportunities right now, right? So like I said, when I got hit by a car, I got this $100,000 and nobody talked to me about, because nobody's in our farm sitting down, talk to us about money and how to leverage our money or how to invest our money. So here I am at 18 years old. I get this $100,000. Guess what I do? What do you think was the first thing I buy? Buy a car, buy rims, buy a system. I blew $90,000 with fake friends and trying to impress people who, guess what? Don't even care about you, right? So now I'm down to my last 10, and my mom said, man, that money was supposed to be used for either college or to buy a house. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. So thank God my mother took that money, that $10,000, and used it to get a FHA home loan, which is a mortgage. This is back in 1993 to go buy a 2-family house in Park Slope, Brooklyn for $130,000 in 1993 on a $10,000 investment. Now think about one decision can set you forward, ladies and gentlemen, 20 years. And we all know people who make one bad decision that sets them back 20 years. And some of them we know, we visit them, unfortunately, right? But how can we set the next generation up? Because that $10,000 investment I talked about, that we bought that 2-family in 1993 in Park Slope for $130,000, guess what? In 2018, that house, we sold it for $2.4 million, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast. I'm just letting you know that if we didn't make good decisions with the money, right? Where would I be, right? So this is where we need to know how to leverage our money. And now my mother, when she passed away with breast cancer in 2011, guess what? She didn't have a will. So we don't even know about asset protection, right? And because she didn't have a will, now the person that she was married to, who didn't even put no money into the house, got to walk away with $1 million, free and clear, because she did not have it in a trust. So this is where we have to understand the game, the rules. We don't understand the rules because imagine you work hard. Grandma worked so hard to buy you guys a house. And guess what? When grandma passes away because she didn't have the life insurance or living benefits, then the kids call me as a real estate broker to do what? Sell grandma's house. But if they had the proper setup, as we're all on this panel, you need a tax person on your team. You need a CPA or whoever, right? You need a lawyer that can do a trust, right? I don't really believe in wills because wills can be contested. And a lot of people don't know that when you go to probate court, when somebody dies, the Uncle Sam gets about 30 to 40%. I don't know about you. Would you like to keep 90% of your money, or would you like to keep 60% of your money? But here's the thing, a lot of us do it every day when we work on a job. You know, we keep only 60% because we don't know how to write things off. Our salary is a write-off, right? So if we know how to invest our money and make our money work for us, like investing in Bitcoin, investing in real estate, investing in life insurance, index universal life, right? Things like that. Guys, you're setting up the next generation because I vowed that I'm going to make my son, who is now 4 years old, by the time he's 18, he is already, as we speak of today, worth $1.7 million. And I say that because the things that I bought today, the stocks that I bought now, by the time 14 years from now, those stocks are going to be worth a lot of money, guys. This is what we talked about earlier, compound what? Interest. Compound interest. And not only just setting up the next generation, we got to also be our own 401ks. We have to be our own savings plan because guess what? Social Security ain't going to be paying us, right? So we don't buy any properties, if we don't buy any stocks, ETFs, so that we can have because I told you earlier, 65% of Americans, guys, at the age of 65 only have $10,000 saved. That's broke. And then you got to end up going, you work 10, 20, 30, 40 years of your life, and then you only have $10,000 saved. How can you survive off of that? So we're playing the game backwards, right? And this is why we're here, so that you guys can take actionable steps. Because now you can't say you don't know. Now you know. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to reach out? Are you going to seek the help from the people? I can help you buy a home if you choose. We got investors here. We have tax specialists here. We have life insurance people here. We got people who can help you with your health and your mental, right? So the choice is yours, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have questions, I put my information in the chat, and if anybody wants to reach out, I'm an open book, and I always will point you in the right direction to the people who will do right by you, not try to take advantage of you, because my integrity and my values mean so much to me. I'm not trying to take from you, I'm trying to empower you, because you don't want to be the only one winning. You want to be able to help others. That's the reason why everybody's on this call. You want to be able to help others and pull them up. But unfortunately, some people have a poverty mindset. They don't want to be helped. It reminded me of the famous quote of Harriet Tubman. She said, I could have freed more slaves if they knew that they were slaves. And some people didn't want to be free.
That's right.
Right? And Bob Marley said, free your mind from mental slavery, because no one but ourselves can free our mind. And the biggest prisons in the world are not the ones that are behind bars. The biggest prisons right here in our mind. So let's take action. Let's stop talking about it. Let's take action. Action speaks louder than what, guys?
Words.
Words.
And faith without works is absolutely dead. Thank you so much, David. That's why he's our lead guru. And if you guys notice something I put all over social media, David Germain, real estate broker guru. And I don't consider a guru just somebody that's really knowledgeable in one area. I feel like a guru is knowledgeable in a lot of areas, and they can really empower and change the value of someone's life. So tonight's workshop is literally set off by the tone that David left us with when he came on the panel just a couple of weeks ago. And now we've developed such a great body of collective mind. Sorry, people are texting and joining. And we have 17 comments on social media. I'm just now seeing this. I do apologize. I won't be able to read them off this evening, but if I do get a chance, it's going to be after our speakers. So bear with me. Ask your questions. We have 33 shares, 17 comments. We have people coming in on Instagram and via text messages and calls. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I cannot pick up the calls this evening because this is a very important evening for our community. So David, I thank you for sharing that. And of course, after I get to Mr. Dr. Tax, we're going to have Mr. David Germain back on. It's so many names and so much going on, but I'm excited because all of my people here. So Mimi wants to get back into the Zoom, but I don't see where she's coming back. Mimi, please send another request to come into the Zoom. And if you want to say anything, please let me know. Real quick, David, we have a hand up by the name of Denise Williams. I'm pretty sure you know who she is. And she disappeared, and I'm not sure where she went, but either way, I'm so thankful as we wait for my sister Denise. I'm just so thankful she's back. I'm thankful she's back. How about that? Go ahead, Denise. Mimi.
All right, you guys got me bubbling.
I don't see.
As you know, my mind is just like always. So let me see if I can remember. I'm going back in the chat because that was my way of like while it was hot.
I think it was about Arlington or David's comments or something.
I made a comment to one of David's comments because it lit me on fire.
Okay.
Thank you for the resources that you guys are sharing. I am noting them so that we can put it collectively in the ECI chat.
Thank you.
So that we can books and the websites. And I save the contacts in my phone, so just in case.
Thank you, Denise.
It's easy to follow up, no problem. Okay, so when we were talking about mutual funds, I just wanted to, that was the initial reason why I raised my hand, but I do have questions. The way when I learned mutual funds is the easiest, simplistic way is, it's not really, it's a way to invest your money, but instead of investing in one thing, that if today you put all your money right here, let's just say you have $100,000 and you put it into Toys R Us, and Toys R Us goes bankrupt, where's your money? Your money is gone. But if you put it into a mutual fund is a group of businesses and companies where they all come together collectively. And so your money is shared across the board of all those companies. So if you put your money in a mutual fund, it's less of a chance of you losing all of your money because your money is spread between all these other companies. And what's the likelihood of them all going bankrupt or going down at the same time? So your money is more protected. That was the original reason why I raised my hand, but then be careful, David, please. Okay, so now, Arlington, you said something about you said something about passive income, and then you lit me on fire because then I started thinking about passive streams of income. And I wanted, David, you're amazing at this as well. So I want both of you to chime in about the importance and the value, because, you know, some people that are receiving this, they may be in a circle of people who don't really care about passive income. They don't really care about multiple streams of income. And so I think as our purpose, because we have this knowledge and information and we're doing something with it, we're here on the ECI, we're here talking about it. I think it's important to just touch on the value of multiple streams of income, the possibilities, and how can you get, what kinds of things can you get to have multiple streams of income, and what is the value and importance of passive income?
I mean, I think everything that was shared does. Okay, can you guys hear me good? Okay, good. Yeah, I think everything shared between David and is 1,000% spot on. The wealth vehicles for Black and brown, right? The difference between Black and brown and white folks, no pun intended to anyone that's that identity, is they have the generational wealth, right? They pass down from uncles, grandpas, they have the real estate, they have the land. Many, I can't say a lot, Black and brown do not have that. Why is that? Well, you can go through from the 60s, 70s, and 80s on racism and obviously all kinds of stuff like that. But we don't have much excuse come into post-civil rights, 70s and 80s, and certainly in the 21st century, 2000. I mean, the legacy, obviously, of racism is still rampant. So I'm not even negating that. So I would say it's not a question of like they don't. I think you mentioned something to the fact that that they don't like it. I think it's a matter of awareness about it. But I think once people kind of can get a clarity on how simple it is to shift that mindset, then the hardest thing is just to start, right? As I said before, I've invested and lost a lot. It's when I took the time to not follow the trend and do the work and understand, okay, what is the driver behind it? Passive income, right? What does it look like? What tools are available? And the TD platform was the best one because I can replicate all the things I want to buy into there. And then once I kind of got wind of it, that just became like a just, you figure out the formula and you just repeat it 15, 20, 50 times. Passive income is the key to long-term financial freedom, right? It's the only way, right? And it's through, like what David mentioned, real estate. That's the biggest driver for wealth, right? You own it. If you can rent it, you get assets, it builds in equity. You take equity, you buy more. you replicate it. That's the wealth generation mindset. Other forms is, again, for me, is, you know, now in my early mid 40s. I need to start thinking about retirement. What that lifestyle is going to look like, right? What David mentioned, $10,000 in a bank account at 65 is unfathomable. Like, it's crazy. You know, so I would definitely say develop a trade or skill that you can do as a service, right? As a, some people say, side hustle. That is also a good means to generate side income. But real estate and investing, whether it's mutual fund, whether it's life insurance, or the more, I'll call it like complex cocktail of life insurance that I heard. The young lady was mentioning some stuff I never heard of before, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's interesting. So that's also something to explore as well. But those are the vehicles those are the key vehicles that essentially is going to be the driver, and then creating trust, right, and wills, and different insurances, so that you can pass that wealth on to the next, so that the next generation is starting with at least, you know, a pants up, right? And then also starting them early in the education. I shared with you some of my mistakes I made in my early 20s, and how devastating financially that was for me. You know, that's a lot of years lost. So I would certainly say having your kids being educated. I dropped in the chat the coolkids.org. It's something I'm having my kids enrolled. I didn't even give them a heads up, so it might be a big traffic coming their way. But it's a 4-week course, couple hours, once a week, that educates kids on financing, money, and stocks. You start there. You know, that at 8, 9 years old, my kids are 8 and soon to be 10. That concept was non-existent. My first job at 16, I spent every money I got. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Arlington. Does that answer your question, Denise?
Thank you. I thank you for that resource. I didn't realize that Cool Kids was a class for the kids. When I was in 5th grade, it was something similar to that built into the curriculum, but I was in a gifted and talented class.
I see you lucky, you gifted and talented. I was not.
Coming back home and trying to find these things. They don't have music programs anymore in the schools, where I was able to learn and play 2 different instruments, learn to read and write music. They're not teaching kids about how money works and stock market and stuff. We even got to take a trip down to the financial district through that class. I even talented in high school. That was middle school. In high school, they took us to a trip down to where the White House is, and kids from all over the world that were in this close-up program for gifted and talented kids all over the world. Some who had never even seen Black people before, and they were looking at us spectacles. We all got together and were able to experience stuff like that. But I don't see these things anymore. I don't know if it was the teachers that were putting their own monies into this, but you know, I'm glad that you put that link into the chat. You know, maybe.
Yeah. And like I said, I am going to, I maybe premature of me, but I'll see how to add. I'll leave my information for YouTube channels and stuff like that. I do intend to at some point start to like republish these things and stuff. So if people want insight, like I'm trying to save people a lot of money, because I lost a lot of money, a lot of time.
Same here.
So right, you know, learning the hard way is something that's still a learning curve of mine, full transparency. But nevertheless, there's still no excuses to not get up and do better and continue to put forward. So definitely can offer, you know, one-on-one, I'm not gonna say counseling, but suggestions, because again, I'm not an advisor, but just some ideas that can save you a lot of time and cost, right? And I think if we follow that model, you know, you teach someone,
Each one teach one.
Yes,
that's right.
perfect. And you
Exactly,
have to,
exactly.
sorry, and you have to literally believe it and achieve it, but you have to see it first. And I always walk into my motivational speaking sessions, especially for the young people, not to cut you off or anything, because we have our next speaker lined up. For those that are wondering like why we even do what we're doing here, David hit it on the head earlier. Denise has shared, we're all here because we care about the community and the people. A lot of times people look at me and say, ANIYA, you're wasting your time. I don't know why you do what you do. You're always giving. You're always, you know, taking resources and sharing. First of all, why the hell not? That's number one. I hate people that are selfish in nature, right? Like what Arlington is saying, he's made mistakes and he doesn't want others to go down that path. And that's what we're here for as a collective, as a hub. And I'm honestly working on that, gathering all of you. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm a pretty action-oriented person. And I believe in putting my efforts to what I really believe in. So for those that are watching that wonder sometimes, like, ANIYA, you're always busy, you're always giving, you're always this and all that. You'll learn more about my past as well as my experiences later, because it's not about me tonight, but I want to share this publicly. One of the reasons I also do what I do and I go so hard is because I learned a technique years ago. The Jewish community, talking about, somebody said Jewish earlier, I think. The Jewish community is the way that they are when it comes to wealth, when it comes to growth, when it comes to building, etc., because they're constantly giving. If you take a look at the churches, not even churches, because the church is another thing, but if you look at hospitals, if you look at libraries, if you look at institutions for higher learning, for growth, for medicine, you will notice names like Levitzowitz, Shabbat Shalom. You will see words that we can't sometimes pronounce, and it's not by happenstance, but it's because the Jewish community has learned the power of giving and sharing. One of the things that we as a community has to stop doing, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna introduce Mr. Tax Doctor himself. One of the things we have to stop doing is being so selfish as a people. What I love about each one of you that are on this evening is that you're selfless. Again, for those that didn't catch it in the back, you're selfless. Even my brother that's sitting in here with me now, Mr. Mascon, that's Mr. Curtis. Say hi, Curtis. He's here publicly with me, okay? All of you who are on here literally care about people. And I get calls oftentimes saying that I'm wasting my time. Why am I helping these Black people? Why do I care about the hood? Why this, why that? Y'all gonna find out soon enough. But for tonight, understand that this is real for me. Because if I can help a brother and sister, especially our next generation, that is what it's about. And I thank each and every one of you for taking your time. And you're gonna see how your efforts are going to quadruple, because anytime you give, it comes back. So at this time, hold any questions and comments, because we're going to introduce the Tax Doctor. Welcome, Miss Lyons on Instagram. So we have Instagram going, we have Facebook going. We're going to now talk about Mr. Look, I might be getting some coins soon because I keep saying dollars. Oh my God, I apologize. It's the Tax Doctor. And then we'll be back again with other speakers. But of course, David Germain is going to be our last speaker of the evening as he closes us out. But in the interim, who is the Tax Doctor, you're wondering? He was just online here, but we're going to talk about him and he's going to magically reappear on Zoom. The Tax Doctor is also known as Hudson Ace Etienne, founder of Tax Dr. X Financial Corporation, is a graduate of New Jersey Institute of Technology, where he obtained a Bachelor of Science in Industrial and Management Engineering with a minors in Finance and Accounting. Hudson is certified as a registered financial consultant and IRS enrolled agent, an accredited tax advisor, ATA, and an accredited tax preparer. All these acronyms, ATP as well. Additionally, he is studying to become a certified financial planner. Hudson's goal for Tax Dr. X is to offer taxpayers a viable alternative when, ready for this, a viable alternative when it comes to tax resolution, tax preparation, and small business bookkeeping. Hudson's belief is that taxpayers deserve to be coached on how to lower their tax exposure and have their questions answered by a knowledgeable tax professional. Tax Dr. X prides itself in offering CPA level service at an affordable price in the privacy of a closed door environment. In 2019, Mr. Etienne expanded his vision to offer business opportunities for CPAs, EAs, and attorneys to reach their professional and personal goals when he franchised the business. Tax Dr. X is readily becoming a known name in the tax resolution and tax preparation industry for bringing quality and competence back into the tax business. There he goes, magically reappearing. And it also says the company's ultimate success will be determined by their ability to help others become successful. Additionally, he established getmybooksright.com to assist small business owners with basic bookkeeping packages, which include tracking income and expense transactions for all business checking, savings, and credit card accounts. We review and reconcile the accounts and provide financial reports every month of every quarter. Welcome back, the tax doctor himself, Mr. Hudson Etienne. I just did the whole bio, sir.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome
What's up?
Hey,
It's all good. And I needed every second of that. You're not gonna believe what happens, but so I literally ran home to jump on the computer so I can have slides for us.
Yes.
Because it's so important what you're talking about, right? Because that's where it all starts. Financial literacy, financial education. That's how we actually take our families and ourselves intergenerationally out of poverty. Okay, and so the computer stopped working and I had to revert back to the phone. But which is all good because I have the app. I mean, in business owners, you got to be nimble, you know. And so I have the Outlook app on my phone. So if I'm able to share, I can really do some slides and so forth, and actually get to the heart of what I want to share tonight. So wait, real quick, you gave a little history.
Do you want to do that? Because we can make you a host and you could share directly from your phone.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay,
so,
great, because David taught me. David GERMAIN is the man, the master plan.
Right. So I'm telling you, and the panel is amazing. Like I'm in my car just learning. I can't write notes, but I'm like, man, that's a great tip. That's a great tip there. nuggets, you know? So yes, but it's all good. It's all good. So I'm really excited. So I'm not only a presenter, but also a student here.
I love it. I love it. I'm so glad you're here with us. This is working out perfectly. Go ahead. I made you a host. So if you can share from there, have at it.
Let me see. Share content. We're going to.
And oh, this is who I was telling you about, Curtis. So Curtis came all the way here physically so he could hear what's going on and possibly go over and meet you. Yes, sir.
All right, hold on. Let me get this open. PowerPoint. Can you guys see that?
No, it's a black screen.
Okay, so you can't fully see it then. All right.
Unless you send it to me, and I can do a quick share or something.
All right, hold on. That's probably a great idea, because then we know that everybody could see it.
Okay.
Give me just a second.
I'm here to help out wherever I can because I want our team to be edumacated. Okay, guys, edumacated. I'm a nerd. Thank you guys again so much for being here with us this evening. We have so much greatness to offer and to share. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to drop them in that box. And for those that are on social media, while he's looking for that, I'll just share again, for those that are on social media, I apologize about not being able to get to all of your comments this evening, but trust and believe we will get to your comments and we will make sure that every comment is answered, and we will try to find a way for all of you to be connected to us on our WhatsApp team. But you guys have to take that step and join the WhatsApp team, which is 347-617-6873. Again, have WhatsApp available when you join us at 347-617-6873. And you let me know, Tax Doctor, when you find that, and you could send
I'm bringing it up right now. And so give me just a second.
No problem. And what I'll do for you is play your recording again. I know how to do it, and it's not muted anymore. So let's play that again with His recording. Here we go.
My alpha brother Hudson from Tax DRX. How are you, man?
I am doing amazing.
Yes,
Onward
you
and
are.
upward.
Onward and uptown. Now he's in Harlem, in my hometown, and I'm so
Exactly.
glad.
I'm back home.
And people uptown should know you are the tax resolution guru. If you have any problems, if they're getting ready to garnish your wages, let me tell you, Tax DRX handle my case.
To the ANIYA show, that's where I send it.
Oh, a dime.
Yep.
877-908-1040. Okay, let's talk about the Affordable Care Act. Will you be penalized on your taxes if you don't have health care?
You're not gonna be penalized. Correct.
And if you always wanted to be
On
a
its
tax
way.
DRX, here's your chance.
If you're a CPA, an IRS enrolled agent, or a JD, which is an attorney, you qualify to do what I do. And now you could be a tax doctor yourself.
877-908-1040.
All right. I had to replay that for
My
you.
alpha brother
Uh-oh.
Hudson from
Here we
Tax
go.
DRX. How are you, man?
I am
Man,
doing amazing.
Yes,
Onward
you
and
are.
upward.
Onward and uptown. Now he's in Harlem, in my hometown, and I'm so
Exactly.
glad.
I'm back home.
All
I'm
right.
ready. Let's go. So basically what I sent you is part of what I do. I mean, you gave a little bio. but
Okay.
Part of what I do is my dad is a pastor, right?
Okay.
And I grew up in the church. And I felt that, you know what, part of my ministry is a financial literacy ministry.
I'm sorry.
And so
real
we
quick,
felt that
before you say anything else, I'm sorry, my dear. Where did you send it? Because it's not showing up.
to the show.
The ANIYA show at Gmail.
Yeah. So I basically responded to your
All right, guys. Give us one
check the spam. Check spam.
Okay. Today's
There's
technology
an attachment.
is so. Let me do this. Keep speaking, and I'll keep looking. Because I will cover my screen. I don't want everybody know. Okay, keep speaking, and I'll be right back.
Right. So basically okay, and that show is being sent. So basically, I've grew up in the church. So because I was around a lot of Christians, I felt, hey, being a financial advisor and then becoming a tax expert, hey, people still need to know these financial concepts that you learned a long time ago. And so, and I get them back down to the basics. And because a lot of stuff that was discussed today, believe it or not, we're pretty advanced. I know what they are. I feel very comfortable with getting involved with it. But that average person that don't even have an emergency fund of say $500 if they blew a tire tomorrow, I don't know if they're going to invest in ETFs, right? And so, and that other person who basically is trying to go just living paycheck to paycheck, we need to help them understand how money works, why realistically, okay, that's the one I should be sending it to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me forward the same.
I apologize.
Hold on. Look at that again.
Oh, this is okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Huh. I don't understand what's going on. And
I'm
it's-
sending again.
Okay, thank you. I apologize. I don't know what's going on with today's technology, but
That's fine.
let me see here. Lindy, guys, bear with us as we try to pull this up.
It is show up as it's
No.
a church. It is a church presentation.
Church presentation? No. I responded to you to see if it would snooze, nope, sent drafts. Unless it thinks it's a totally weird file or something, and then but it would tell me that it's a weird file or something. But you know what, for the I guess for the sake of time, maybe we can share it with the group later.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
So-
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
so basically in the presentation, what we look at is a true education of having people see for themselves that, look, in your lifetime, if you start working, most of us started about 2025 and we work to 65, look, you're going to actually earn over $1 million during your lifetime.
Mm.
Okay. And so if you average 40,000 a year, you would have, and you started at roughly 25, and we're assuming an annual increase of roughly 5%, you would have earned like 2.6 million. If your income is like 55,000, we're talking about 3.6 million. 70,000 a year, 4.6 million. So we're gonna earn over $1 million in our lifetime, but it's not really what you earn that counts, it's what you keep, right?
Yes.
And it's what you do with what you keep. As as African Americans, generally, we're consumers. The minute a dollar comes into our community, 6 seconds later, it's out. Like, we don't recycle that money. We need to be intentional about it. And so what we do is we say, okay, you know what, first of all, why don't we just look at what are the roadblocks around why we don't achieve financially? And so we start with number one, we have no goals. We have no goals. So obviously, if you have no goals, no direction, no way of knowing if you're on track, there's nowhere to get to, right? Secondly, we're ignorant. Ignorance just basically means you don't know. After today, with all the dynamic speakers, that's no longer an excuse, right? Third, the power of compound interest. And that was hit on earlier. But like, we show the numbers and so forth and show, hey, you know what? At $2,000 a year over a period of say 30 years, you would have invested $60,000, but at 8%, it would have been worth $226,000. That is what the power of compound interest look like. And we all can look. When I say 2,000, everybody can do that. That's $166 a month, right? It's all doable, right? And then the other roadblock is simply, we do not really understand how money works. Well, how does money work? There's a rule called the rule of 72. And the rule of 72 basically says, if you take the interest rate that you're getting, you divide it into 72, that answer is how many years it's going to take for your money to double. Okay, earlier we discussed the bank is paying 1%. 1 into 72 is 72. Look, I ain't got 72 years for my dollar to become 2. That just doesn't work, right? And it's the same math over and over again. If I'm earning 4%, it takes 18 years. 12%, it takes 6 years, right? 24%. Every 3 years, your money is double. And we know where, look, our credit cards are what? 24%. So like my brother said, you're either earning the monies or you're paying the money. The rule of 72 works both ways. So understanding that, I might buy a nice purse today for $5,000. If I put it on a credit card, I may end up paying $10,000 for it. If I pay those minimum, payments over a 3-year period. And I'm like, oh crap. I mastered this rule of 72 because now it's about being intentional and being strategic, right? Intentional and strategic. Nothing happens by like fairy dust, you just don't throw fairy dust in something and it happens. It's because you've applied something, you applied a strategy, and we go through a series of examples to show people, but we're not going to even have an opportunity because you kind of have to see it, right? The next pitfall is debt, right? Credit card debt, as properly defined, is the means of buying something that we don't need at a price we can't afford with money we don't have, right?
Can you repeat that for us, that those people that didn't hear that use credit cards like crazy? Thank you.
Credit cards, properly defined, is a means of buying something you don't need at a price you can't afford with money you don't have. Isn't that what it is? True, right? Then we talk about poor investment choices. Because sometimes, hey, you get a tip, you go for it, and hey, you bought it at a high, now you just lost all your money. You got in it too late, or it's just a poor investment. You just don't know how to properly research out a company and make the right choice around which company to actually purchase, right? The next one is inflation. Inflation is huge because look, let's say if inflation is at 3%, if your money is not earning at least that, guess what? You're losing. You're behind. You're behind. You're gonna fall behind. So leaving it under your mattress doesn't work, right? You gotta invest, but knowing what the inflation is, you wanna make sure that your money is working at a rate higher than inflation so that you can at least keep pace. Then we talk about taxes. On average, every person who works for somebody will work until May to pay their federal, state, and local taxes combined. Right? That's how much, like, it's almost a 25 to a third of your income goes towards tax. Last but not least, procrastination, right? Look, you know what? I'm only 30 years old. I'll get around to this retirement thing. I'll get around to this insurance thing. I'll get around to this investment thing. And before you know it, you're 40, still saying the same thing. And then you're 50 saying the same thing, and you don't have nothing to show for it, right? So for me, I'm telling you, there are 6 keys that you really gotta get a handle on and get educated on. Number 1, cash management. Somebody discussed it earlier, budgeting. Look, if you don't have a budget, if you don't have here's where each dollar is going to go each month, your money will find somewhere else to go. Okay? So cash management is 1. The second key to financial success is risk management. We talked about insurance, but we're talking about all insurances: life insurance, long-term care, health insurance, disability insurance, right? Liability insurance. We want to cover all of that and know when it applies and when you should have it. Next is it's investment planning. We're not talking about investment unless if you don't have a retirement fund, why are we even talking about investments? Because a lot of the investments are long-term in the outlook. And so if you take all your money and invest it and you lose it, now you're back down to zero again. Or if you make monies, a lot of these investments, they're time sensitive. So you can't sell it too early and kind of mess up the whole strategy. Tax planning is next, retirement planning, and then we get into estate planning. All 6 areas have to be addressed, right? And so what we normally do at that point is talk about, hey, you know what can I do today? Now that we know all of this, we know the pitfalls and the roadblocks, what do I do today? What I do in 2021 to get on track? And we say, you know what? Why don't we first set up a budget? Look at how much money I'm spending on my necessities. You can have a slush fund, we're okay, but have a strategy where we pay off the credit cards, right? And we do 1 card at a time. We can start with the smaller one, right? Pay that off, have a victory lap, take the monies that you were using on the small one, pay it on the next smallest one until we get debt free, right? And then what we do is make sure we watch out for those cash flow traps, right? Where we make a commitment, like we get a car, right? And we're thinking, all right, all I have to do is worry about the car payment. But then there's insurance, there's maintenance, there's all these other invisible commitments that we're making when in fact, all we thought was getting the car. And I talk about 7 baby steps. If anybody follows one of the gurus, Dave Ramsey, he talks about some of the same baby steps, right? Number 1, save at least $1,000. Just save it. Like, look, balls to the wall. This is the next goal. I gotta have $1,000 saved. That's step one. Step two, pay off all debts. That's credit card debts. Because why? You're paying 24% to a credit card company and you're not getting 24% anywhere else. Right? We know the role of 72 now. Why the hell am I paying somebody where, you know, what I owe them is doubling every 3 years, but I'm not making my money work for me. I'm not making babies with my money, right? So pay off the debt. And then at that point, we want to have 3 to 6 months expenses saved. Now I have a legitimate emergency fund. At that point is where we want to start investing at least 15% of our household income into a Roth IRA. And I have a real good tip for you guys at the end. The fifth thing is now we want to start focusing on the kids, right? College funding for kids. Then we're going to pay off our home early, and then we start building wealth for ourselves, right? Back to the kids. Now, you know my strategy. You're one of our team members. My strategy is to build wealth through business ownership, right? And investing on the equity side. When I say equity side, meaning it's owning property, it's owning the companies who's on the stock market, right? Being a major pre-IPO shareholder, right? And so, but that doesn't mean anything to the average person, but they can do those 7 baby steps, right? Here's the tip, here's the nugget. Remember, as a tax doctor, I have to make your kids millionaires tax-free, right? So how do you do that? Easy. First of all, everyone who has a business, who's a sole proprietor or a sole member LLC, hire your kids. Hire your kids, make sure you give them an activity to do. It could be, hey, you know what? Every day, my home office, we need to make sure that you clean the area, you put out the garbage, you straighten out my desk, and for that, you will earn X number of dollars. Hey, look, you were gonna give them a stipend or a allowance anyway. You might as well write it off, right? But check this out. What happens, you know you could open an IRA for a child if they work for it, right? Well, they're working. So they work for you. What's the max that you could put in an IRA? It's $6,000, right? Well, you need to pay your kid at least $6,000. And then take it and put it in a Roth IRA for them. When you do that, make sure you have it well invested in some of the funds, mutual funds, things like that. Next year, you do it again and again. And guess what? Even if you stop halfway, the magic of compound interest with that type of money in a tax-free account, when they get to college, guess what? Do you have the college fund ready? You ready, baby? What? When they want to buy a house, guess what? They have the money. And at retirement, forget about it. And you only have to do this from the time they start, that they can actually perform an activity for your business. Look, if you want to let them go when they're in college, but I don't say let them go. Still have them work for your company, doing maybe reviewing your papers, reviewing your book, editing your book, or doing some type of advisory work for you. Look at the Trumps. You remember them? What did he do the minute he got into the office? He hired all his kids. Follow what the millionaires do. The millionaires, they sit at home and they make money in the market. And by the way, you can make money in the market when it's going up and when it's going down. That's the game. So that is what the tax doctor has to share. And as you know, look, we come with a lot. I'm insurance license. I have a real estate license as well, but I keep it where it is, which is I'm a specialist in the area of taxation. We know that small business owners, they drop the ball when it comes to their bookkeeping. So we created a company called getmybooksright.com so we can help them address that. So I'm open for questions, and thank you for the invite.
Oh my God, like, yes, thank you for coming on. Does anybody have any questions or concerns before we go and move on to our next speaker for just a couple of seconds? First of all, let me just say the tax doctor, I keep saying tax dollar because like my money's on these dollars because I feel like I'm gonna be a multimillionaire, right, Curtis?
Yes, you are.
He says yes, because we got the right team to make it happen. So I just want to thank you because you just really shared some great information. And we do have a question coming in right now. Again, for those that are on social media, I'm so sorry this evening I was not able to get to all your questions. However, one thing I know for sure, Mr. David Germain is pretty famous because everybody's talking about David G. David G, the AKA gangster rapper or something, I'm not sure, but everybody's like, David G in the building. So we all need to get to that level with David G status because everybody knows his face and name. And then of course we have the Hudson, Mr. Dr. Tax Doctor, who has people like Shayla Scott doing voiceovers and things like that. So we have a great crew tonight and I'm so excited. But real quick, Tax Doctor, I really appreciate everything you said. And as you know, I'm on the team, whatever I have to do to keep working with you. And of course, expand the brand and make sure more people know about you, especially in this local community. One person for sure that may be taking a trip to your office very soon is in the building. His name is Mr. Curtis. When he heard you would be here this evening, he popped in. Show your face, Mr. Curtis. I know you have a mask on, but show your face. He's right there. Do you have any questions for him? Because I know you had some questions earlier.
Basically, just one question.
Oh, you can ask him right there. Can you hear him okay, guys?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I don't want to echo.
Okay, no problem.
Just one question would, in filing taxes for, if you didn't file taxes in the past 2 years and you owe money for those past 2 years, like what would, how much could I make an arrangement with the IRS and not, them take so much money out of my,
Yeah, in other words, if he hasn't paid in a couple of years or hasn't gotten them up to date, do you do certain things like that?
Yeah, so we definitely do that. And part of his question is, let's say, and I'm not saying he's gonna owe 10,000, but let's say if he owes 10,000, instead of cutting a check for 10,000, can he pay it over time was the question.
Yes.
And so, yes, you could absolutely pay it over a period of, believe it or not, it's actually 7 years. So they'll let you pay over a period of like 84 months. So you could be paying like $100 a month. And so you can have money to invest and get everything right, get everything tight. We don't have to give them all our money, but we do have to be compliant. We have to file on time and make sure that we negotiate whatever we need to negotiate with them. And that is my specialty. That is what I do day in, day out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And he will be taking a trip. For those that don't know, the Tax Doctor is now located uptown in Harlem, baby. He's right off of, why don't you tell them that information because I don't want to mess it up.
Sure, it's the historic Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. It's 2155. So you know where the State Building is?
Yep.
I'm like 2 blocks in. Corner of 128. So
128.
yeah.
And you can't miss his sign because it says Tax Doctor really huge. And we're going to have an event very soon. Just to let you guys know, we'll let you all know in the community because we are in planifying mode, right, Tax Doctor, for that event?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't be a secret. Yeah, you got to get the word out there. So,
exactly.
Totally.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, especially having you on a panel like this. For those that don't know, the Tax Doctor he was in, Midtown, downtown. Now he's back uptown. So we are definitely making noise about having a CPA Tax Doctor right here in our communities that you all need to visit. And of course, when we planify that event, you guys will be able to come in, meet me face to face, make sure you are socially distanced with your mask on, but you will but you will definitely meet the tax doctor himself, and you could ask him those questions that you have there live. Tax doctor, give me 2 minutes. We have, and I know people have other questions. I see another one about the IRA, Roth IRA.
Yeah, it's a quick question. So
okay.
Someone was asking, where do they actually establish that at?
Okay.
You can establish it at any bank, but I would actually do it at an investment company instead, so you can have more options for investing at a higher rate of returns.
Perfect.
Okay, but definitely get it.
Definitely get it. And you know what, Ty, who asked that question, you know the right person to do that. We can talk offline about that. But as you know, for the first workshop we introduced a financial planner in our community. But if you guys also have different financial planners, please give me 1 second.
Correct.
Let me introduce a beautiful sister here who made it with us live. She's gonna have to leave very soon, but I wanted her to come in and talk to us real quick. NAJETA Maria. She has another name that she'll tell you.
Hi, everybody. Hudson, I got is your name Hudson or?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay.
It is.
I got like the tail end of the conversation, but I'm happy I was injected in when I was, because I'm in the same rhythm of conversation with the debt, the building, the wealth, all of it, generational wealth. So thank you for those gems.
You're welcome.
And my name is NAJETA. I'm a yoga instructor based out of Philadelphia. I'm also launching my wellness company, Tribal Root. We are supporting global creativity and holistic health with an ultimate mission of connecting human beings through connecting cultures. The launch will be on February 27th. For those of you who want to follow up with the social media, my social media is tribal, TRIBAL .root, Instagram. What else? Oh, so ANIYA and I have created this merge fundraiser project where we offer every Friday at 12 p.m. to support the Haiti Give Back Project, supporting the youth, the orphanage youth in Haiti. So 25% of the proceeds to this class, which is mental health recovery, will be going to this fundraiser. So giving back to our communities as we're also inspired by different cultures as well, I'm seeing is a huge part of the mission. And on that note, I'm going to lead you guys into a short meditation to just give you a taste of what's to come with Tribal Root, and also an introduction to meditation if that's something that's new to anyone here. So we'll start by closing our eyes and relaxing our shoulders, seeing about extending through the crown into an upright seat, shining the heart forward, naturally breathing here, just presencing ourselves to this very moment and allowing ourselves to arrive in our bodies. They say we only get one. Let's make the most of it while we're here, right? In this next moment, start to form your hands into prayer in front of the heart, pressing the thumbs against the heart sternum, gently raising those thumbs to the center of your brow, this third eye home, your pineal gland, the portal to our internal wisdom. Use this moment to connect with your divine self and give gratitude to Source and all of the elements that make us be. Now gently floating the hands back down in front of the heart, and begin to rub the palms together as if you are rubbing two sticks to build a fire. Feeling this energetic heat building between your hands. And when you've gathered enough energy and you feel that ignition, Place the palms over the eyelids. Inhale a refreshing breath here. Exhale, grounding into our seats. Perhaps feeling the coolness from our fingertips, calming this optic nerve. Use this moment to release from any psychological tension that may be lingering in the mental field. Use this moment to release any emotional tension, spiritual tension, physical tension, as we create these patterns of restoration and regenerative health. At your pace, allow the hands to float down to your sides. And then when you're ready, gently blink the eyes open. And from here, we'll move into this alternate breathing practice, alternate nostril breathing, bringing our pointer and our middle fingers together, placing it onto our pineal gland, or our third eye center, inhaling through both nostrils here. At the top of your inhale, press your thumb against your right nostril and exhale out of your left nostril. Once you exhale out of the left nostril, inhale through the left, plugging the left nostril now with your ring finger and exhaling out of the right. Continuing in this pattern, inhaling through the right nostril, plugging the right nostril with the right thumb, exhaling out of the left. Inhaling through the left, placing the ring finger over the left nostril, exhaling through the right. And keep on so for the next 30 seconds. Here, what we are doing is bringing balance to the right and left hemispheres of our brain. The right hemisphere is the home for our intuitive thought, our creative thought. Maybe some could say even the spiritual expressions of self. Whereas the left side of our brain houses that analytical, the logic thinking mind, the organizer, the scientist. The very core of balance is to bring things to a steady pace so that they can perform with optimum grace. So really just acknowledging all the aspects of self and calling in this balance for deeper understanding. And continue on for the next 10 seconds or so. Really being mindful in these inhales and exhales. Maybe as you inhale, imagining that you're inhaling this clarity. Maybe on the exhales, exhaling, releasing any mental residue, any blockages. And as you complete these last cycles of breath, bring this right hand to fall down to your side with both hands onto your side, perhaps on your kneecaps. Place your palms upward towards the sky with the hands open in this position of receiving. Saying here, I am open and ready to receive. Stay transported here and bring yourself to the stillest point in your mind. As I integrate sound and some words from the Tao Te Ching, this ancient text inspired by Confucius. Express yourself completely. Then keep quiet. Be like the forces of nature. When it blows, there is only wind. When it rains, there is only rain. When the clouds pass, the sun shines through. If you open yourself to the Tao, you are at one with the Tao, and you can embody it completely. If you open yourself to insight, you are one with insight, and you can use it completely. If you open yourself to loss, you are at one with loss, and you can accept it completely. Open yourself to the Tao and trust your natural responses, and everything will fall into place. As you let those words really absorb into your hemisphere, bring the palms that are wide open back into yourself, formulating the fingers into prayer in front of your heart. Honoring this moment, honoring this community, honoring spiritual abundance. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. And when you're ready, feel free to open your eyes or stay in meditation as long as you desire. Remember, it's all your practice.
Oh my God, so beautiful. I hope I'm not breaking meditation, but as the host of this thing, I gotta keep going. But wait, I almost passed out because I felt so much tranquility and peace. And are my eyebrows still on? That's the big question. Okay.
They are.
Thank you.
They're still on, and they look great.
Thank you. Because I felt like, excuse me, I'm drooling because like that was so deep. Like I feel really in tune with Mother Earth and nature. That was beautiful. It was good, Curtis?
Yep.
Curtis concurs. That was great. So real quick.
Thank you, Curtis.
She says, thank you, Curtis. So real quick, Naj, I'm so thankful for you. Somebody had to leave. Oh, Mimi says, thank you all the way from Canada. Arlington had to step out, but he left all his information. And for those that are still in meditation, I wanted to share this little thought because Naj has to leave soon. The reason why I have people like Denise and Naj, Denise, I don't know if you are still there. Naj is here though. What is happening in our world deserves or needs more meditation in my mind, right? And I've been practicing meditation for years and I never shared that with anybody because it just so happened, and I have to shout somebody out. I think his name is Anthony AJ Joyner. If that's my buddy from Atlanta, if it's not, then forgive me. I will have the right name another time. Anyway, I feel like it was Anthony one day. Naj knows my life. Naj knows what I went through. And I was always fighting myself. And real quick, before we get back to our closing segment, I was always fighting myself, all these rare medical problems, in and out of the hospital, wanting to make the millions of dollars that was promised to me, always wanting to do better. And I could not get to my goals. And one day, I'll never forget my friend, Anthony AJ Warner. I hope that's who shared this with me. If not, again, I'll correct myself later. He said something on social media about meditation and being still and being quiet and listening to the sounds of the earth. And because of who I am and graduating high school at 16 and always trying to be the best I could be, I was causing myself more anxiety by always trying to reach these goals and these dreams. When I learned to be still and to be quiet with Mother Nature, and when I learned to start meditating, things started to become more clearer. And it just so happens that in the practice of doing what I love, I now have NAJETA and Denise, who are both specialists in this world. So I want to say thank you. And for those that are watching on social media or that will watch later, this is not no, Santeria, no voodoo, no strange anything. For those that are being like, what? This is really a practice that's thousands of years old, and it really helps cleanse the mind, the body, and spirit. Plus, I would never in my life do anything to cause harm to anybody or make you feel uncomfortable. So I wanted you guys to understand that. And in just doing that quick thing that Naj presented this evening, I feel much better. We started off with Denise, we'll end with Denise, but in the middle, we have Naj, my little sister.
Can I add something to what you said, ANIYA?
Absolutely.
Just because, like, you know, on the topic of spirituality and teaching and like why we do the things that we do, right? So Tribal Root, February 27th is when I'll be launching my business, and why this date particularly is significant is because 3 years ago I was admitted to a mental hospital and diagnosed with bipolar 1 for mania, and I was put on medication, and I decided after a year to get off of medication and to sink back into my spiritual practices. And, you know, what I found was yoga has always actually helped me throughout my life. It wasn't until that moment where I was able to see, oh, wow, I've been practicing for 8 years and it's actually made a difference. It helped me out of the mental places that were disturbed. And the very core of yoga means to be in union with yourself, to be in union with the divine. So there's no dogma to it. There's no ultimate leader. It's not a religion. It's just an experiential practice, observing yourself as you breathe, observing yourself as you move. And I mean, the community, that's just a bonus, but I mean, what a great bonus to be able to share these practices together. So yeah, I just wanted to leave it off on that. And I wanted to also say,
oh, go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead. No, come on, go ahead. You're on the same stuff.
Well, I was gonna say, I love you so much. And I've seen how you've taken your obstacles and made light of them and pushed through. And that's an inspiration. And I'm just like happy that I get to now like work with you and offer something that's so true to the both of us in this kind of platform. It's really amazing. So thank you.
You're going to make me cry because you actually know me in real life. Oh my God, don't make me cry on this platform, Naj. And thank you for sharing your truth. It just really blesses my spirit that we're here all these years later.
I know. Annie's known me since I was 17 and I'm 29 now. And I lived with her family. Her brother was my first boyfriend. So we have a very special, unique connection. And it's just, you've always been a mentor to me, you know? Like I left home when I was 17 and Annie was just such a light, you know, just seeing her being involved in the community, seeing her use her voice. It just reminded me that I could use my voice, you know? And that's why we're all here, right? To walk each other home. And to light up the star constellation together. They like to trick us and tell us that, you know, we're in the dark, but we're actually really light and we're stars and we illuminate each other.
I love you. Thank you.
I love you too.
See you
soon. See you soon. Bye guys. Tuning out.
Out. Bye baby. Tribal Alien, that's my little sis right there. Oh my God, sorry guys, I got emotional. That was not a part of the platform tonight, but that's truth. So let's continue. Yeah, God is so faithful, right? God is so good when you have these connections and you keep pushing irregardless of what life throws at you. So I'm glad you guys got to see a little intimate side of me. And we have to continue moving forward. And I thank God for people that God bring into my life every day. So thank you. Thank you, NAJETA. She has to be up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, but she is a permanent fixture of my life and this platform. So you'll see her again. Woo, so emotional. So emotional. All right, let's get back to work. Any questions and concerns? I see Denise, I see the great tax doctor, I see Brenda, I see Curtis, and I don't see David. He was gonna close us out as well as Miss Denise, but the tax doctor, are you still there? And did you have anything else that you wanted to share? Because we had to jump in with my little sis, but are you still there? There you are.
Yeah, I am. Hold on.
Okay.
Just ran out to grab some food.
Oh,
now
yeah.
we're back.
That's always important.
Yeah. So again, amazing, amazing education. And for everyone, please, you can, at the end of learning all of this, ask yourself, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do tomorrow to apply 3 things that you've learned? Because we learned a great deal, right?
Yes.
It might be, okay, you know what? Let me start meditating every day.
Yes.
Boom. Okay. So now you haven't wasted your time.
Yeah.
Or it could be, all right, you know what? I'm going to save that first $1,000. I'm going to do it within the next 6 months. Let me just commit to that. Let me, research ETFs. Let me research the stock market. Let me establish my first TD Ameritrade account. We just need to do 3 things, because I tell you what, if all you're going to do is go watch TV, you just wasted your time. The fellas wasted their time. I wasted my time. Don't invite me back if you're not going to do something. Because next year we better be better off. Because you can't say you didn't know.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was super powerful. And again, I see the amen corner. Amen, amen. There's so many amens. And we have people watching on social media. Tell the people again where they can find you, how they can reach out to you. And then when we get our event together, we'll let them know direction and info. I think this Saturday. What do you think? This Saturday for sure? Should we put it out there?
Well, we have the Sharpton event this
we're going
Saturday,
to Nan
right?
in the morning, and in the afternoon, I'm thinking stopping by you because we have Mama Brenda here. What do you think? Is it too much?
I'm open. We're gonna roll with whatever you say. So, I follow my coaches.
All right. So, okay, I feel like we may end up sticking around a little longer at NAN, the National Action Network. So maybe you're right. Maybe the following week it'll give us more time to prepare.
Plus, there's an impending storm tomorrow. Like, we don't know how long that's gonna linger.
Oh, you know what? Say less. I don't want to be flying in these streets with a wig on one side of the street and things like that. So never mind. If there's an impending storm, that's all you have to say. We will schedule for the following week. I'm going to put it out there because I'm intentional, just to let you guys know. He's going to tell you where to contact him, how to find him. For those that are wondering, there is an event to reintroduce the tax doctor in the community of Harlem. He is a Black man doing great work. He has great initiatives, and he has a multitude of platforms that you all need to check out. So we'll be sharing that on our next ECI workshop. We're actually meeting next week, but in the interim, he'll tell you guys again where to find him, and we'll continue to promote him.
Yeah, it's taxdrx.com, taxdrx.com. And if you're a small business owner, go to getmybooksright.com. That's getmybooksright.com.
And the address again, sir?
It's 2155 Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. That's between 128 and 127. So I'm closer to the corner of 128.
Right around the corner from the State Building. You cannot miss it.
Correct.
All right. Thank you so much, Tax Doctor. And let's stay in touch. And yeah, let's go to NAN this weekend so you can talk to Reverend Al Sharpton, but also we'll be staying in touch for your event to reintroduce you to the community for sure.
Definitely.
God bless you.
Thank you, everyone. God
Enjoy
bless you
your
guys.
dinner.
Thank you.
All right, David Germain, are you back with us for your last closing words? And then we will conclude with our affirmations.
Yes, I'm here, and I'm sorry I had to take care of some, but
okay.
As the tax doctor just said, what are you going to do, right?
Yes.
You see, whether you believe in the Bible or not, it says in Hosea 4, verse 6, it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. I'll say it again. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. There used to be a saying back in the days when I was a kid, what you don't know can't hurt you. That was a lie. What you don't know can and will hurt you. That's the reason why we all invested our time. The next thing is the system is designed for us not to understand financial literacy, not to know how banks work, not to know how to leverage our money. It's purposely designed that way. The reason why, you got to think of it like if we're a lion in the jungle and you got to eat prey to stay alive, right? So the lion is never going to teach the deer or the lamb how to get away from the lion. It's purposely done because if the lion teaches you and I, the lamb, how to get away, then the lion would have to eat other lions. So they profit off of our ignorance. They profit off of our lack of knowledge. So that's the reason why things are the way they are. But it's a shift coming right now, a generational wealth. Right now, the good news is we have an opportunity to participate in one of the greatest wealth shifts, Bitcoin, Ethereum, because that's going to be the future of money. Whether you believe it or not, that's where all the big billionaires are parking their money. Tesla, the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, just put $1.5 billion into Bitcoin. If you get in now, it's going to go up to at least, they're saying, around $300,000, $100,000 before the year out. You can buy as little as a fractional share. You don't have to afford the whole thing, but just buy some. Park your money there. Take steps, actionable steps, right? Because we all heard the saying, faith without what? Works is dead. Nobody's going to save us but ourselves. Nobody's going to come save us, guys. So we have to take the steps, take the things that we learned today and take action. At least start a TD Ameritrade account. It only takes 10 minutes, right? You could do that. Everybody here can do that. All right, so that's pretty much what I have to say. And I hope that, you guys learned some things today that are new, and just to apply it. And that's what's going to, and then this time next year, you'll see where your portfolio, I want you to have a portfolio, learn that word, portfolio. And then that's how your money will always work harder for you. Your money will always work harder for you than you can ever work for your money. The biggest lie that they told us that we need to work hard. I know people that work 2, 3, 4 jobs and they still broke. So that doesn't mean working hard is going to make you wealthy. It's understanding the rules of the game, the tax codes. The tax laws are set up for business owners and investors. Create a LLC, a C Corp, a S Corp, sole proprietor, start a business so that you can start getting more of the pie. Would you want to get 60%, 60% of your money? Would you want to get 90% of your money? This is how you play the game, right? I pay myself a salary from my corporation. I work for my own corporation. This is the way the wealthy play, right? And that's how I can get loans from the government. Right now, the $1.9 trillion relief package that Joe Biden is about to pass, if you're a business owner, especially a minority business owner, there's so much money in grants that they're about to give to business owners who need the money. But
right
if you're
here,
not
David,
a business owner or position yourself.
Right here, David, don't forget about your sister. We'll talk about that offline. Don't forget.
But if you don't position yourself, and also establishing business credit, because it's like having a second social security number that is separate from you. And if you can, they'll always give you more money in business credit than they'll give you in personal credit. So these are some of the hacks that we never learned, the secrets of the rules of the game. But if we can learn how to do that, we'll be in a different situation this time next year.
David, thank you so much. And like David said, and so did the tax doctors say, we literally have to put everything that we've learned into action. I love that word portfolio. I don't like budgeting really, but it's a part of life. And we have a terminology that we utilize, which is basically financial planning, getting our finances in order. But absolutely, what I realized during this pandemic is I was way off target. Being a businesswoman, we'll talk about that later, but that's why we're here together. I didn't get the packages and the reliefs. I actually went through a major hurdle over the summer. A lot of people died around us, and mentally and emotionally, it was a very challenging time. But notice something, during the midst of our challenges, there was a whole lot of opportunities. So I'm thankful for the last part that David shared. As a business owner, I've been in business for myself for years. I just never took those extra steps because number one, I did not know those extra steps to take. Let's be honest. We as a community, we're literally left in the dark sometimes. When we do ask questions, people are very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very impatient with us. Instead of trying to teach us certain things about business ownership, they would rather us fall on our faces because like David said, and I love that. And may I say that myself, Denise, and David had a conversation earlier. I'm not going to go into 1,000 details, but what I will say is we actually did talk about that whole thing. Faith without works is dead. And the mere fact is this, if we don't put the actions behind our words, then all we're doing is selling a pipe dream. All we're doing is dreaming and we're still asleep. So I want to thank you for reiterating that, David, and sharing that thought. For those out there that don't understand why this is so important to me as well, and I'll say this, and then Denise and I will close out. I have had stocks and mutual funds since I was about 15. I was never advised correctly. All I knew was I was going to be a multimillionaire, well, millionaire at 26. And if I would have kept my money aggressively, I would have been a multimillionaire by this age. However, at 26, instead of being a millionaire, I'm on my deathbed in the ICU in St. Lucie County. And now I'm deemed as disabled. What does disability mean? Why do I have to be in a bed? Why does my body not work? Why do I have to do certain things to get my life back on track? When I was told that if I followed my dreams, if I went to school, if I educated myself, then I would be successful, because that's why my Haitian parents came to the United States, to follow a dream. But what happens when that dream is deferred? Or what happens when everything gets taken away from you within the blink of an eye? Because you have a rare medical condition, although not contagious, no doctors and no healthcare professionals know how to help you. And you become a vegetable overnight. So when people see me working this hard or doing what I do, understand that there's a real story behind this. And just like David opened up about his family and his mother, I want you guys to understand something. Typically, people who give back the way David does, the way Denise does, the way Arlington does, the way GREDDA does, the way NAJETA does, the way Ty does, the way Brenda does, people, Curtis with his photography, people like us typically do what we do because there is a backstory to this thing. We don't do this because we have nothing to do. We do this because we really care. And I want to leave you guys with David's bio and share more about David Germain, because we got right into it without sharing who he is and his line of work. And the reason why I want to share that is because I want you guys to understand something. When I bring people before you, I speak with people first and I interview people before I bring them up on a platform. And then I learn about their background, their education, their mission, their goals. And that's how I pick who to put in front of each one of you. This is not something that I take very lightly. This is something I put a lot of work into because of my background in production, right? But who is David Germain, you may wonder? Born from Jamaican and Haitian parents in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, 2007 to 2008 championship high school basketball coach at John Jay High School, 2013 Rising Star Award recipient and franchise owner in only 4 months of being licensed, 2016 Young Gifted and Black Award recipient for Professional Services in Business Management and Leadership Award, National Association of Real Estate Brokers member, and 2019 panel speaker with Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams for Agents of Color. Licensed real estate instructor at Enoch's Foliage Real Estate School, team lead of Proven Winners Realty team at Fave Realty. Drove Venus and Serena Williams around before they became famous. Oh my God, they were my clients many years ago in 2003. We need to talk, David, because I didn't read that part last time I saw this information. Hold on. I want to get deeper with David because he has shared so many nuggets, and it's only right that we go deeper. David Germain began his real estate career in 2013 with Rapid Realty. While with Rapid, David was awarded the 2013 Rising Star Award for his work ethic and closings. During his career at Rapid, David has marketed and procured over $50 million in residential and commercial real estate transactions. David had the vision to expand beyond facilitating traditional rentals, sales, and lease transactions and provide a complete range of sales, leasing, consulting, development, and management services with a large portfolio of property listings and clients throughout New York State. David's goal is to expand the scope of services offered to his clients and provide the same work ethic and integrity from which he developed throughout his career in the rental lease real estate industry. He has an eye for detail and maintains relevant market knowledge that our diverse client base requires. Under his direction, he has managed the day-to-day operations and marketing strategies of over 100 agents, as well as mentored and coached those agents into their own individual success. His proven track record and exceptional customer commitment facilitates the buying and selling transaction, saving his clients time, trouble, and money. David specializes in the buyer and seller representation of single-family, multifamily, new construction, as well as residential land and now investment properties. David's review on various platforms such as Yelp, Naked Apartment, among other various social platforms, speaks volumes of his contributions to his clients. David's accomplishments include founder of Buy Back the Block or Lose the Block campaign, which we have to partner on. That's a real goal of mine. Young Gifted and Black Entrepreneurial Award recipient for professional services and leadership, repeat hosting of the New York City Real Estate Mixer, motivational speaker and trainer, radio personality, and web series forum. And of course, you guys have his information, and many of you already know who David Germain is. Every time this man's name pops up or his information is on social media, somebody's like, I know David, David G. I thought David also was a rapper, but praise the Lord. We have David in our team on the Economic Crisis Initiative group. And I'm so thankful and proud of you, David, for all of your great work. You've hit many lows, but you've always bounced back. And that's what's super important. Amen. Amen. We got the amen corner right here. Go ahead, David. Did you want to say anything?
I just say to God be the glory. Without God, we're nothing.
Amen. Absolutely, positively. I'm so excited about tonight. I did get a little emotional, but those emotions come from a real, honest, and real place. So God is faithful. We made it through this night. And right now, Denise and I will do our closing. Hi, Stylista 365 on Instagram. For my Instagram and Facebook followers, I apologize that I wasn't able to get to every single comment. Cousin, I'll hit you back up with the information of my doggy. You guys are amazing out there in social media world. Like the gentleman, both of them have stated, don't let the night go by without thinking about a plan. What's your next moves? We don't do this for you guys to just take notes all day. We want you guys to be proactive. We want to see that we're all in business together. Get your LLCs, get information about real estate, buy a piece of land. If you have to start off with foreclosure, hell, find out from David how to do that because he obviously got the connects. Let's make it happen, guys. Denise, are you ready for us to close out, boo? And yes, thank you. That was so powerful, right, Ty? Yes, and Curtis said it too. So talk to us, Denise. You have your bowl ready, boo? There we have it. We're gonna close out with Denise and her bowl and me and my affirmations. Huh? She's on mute? No?
Is the sound okay or is it too loud?
No, it's great.
Uh-oh. The sound is okay?
Yes, perfect.
All right, got you. Whenever you're ready.
We're ready, baby. We got you, Ty. And as we are closing out tonight from the Economic Crisis Initiative Workshop, and all hearts are pure, and as we've heard from great leaders in so many different industries, I want each and every one of you to envision yourself being great, being rich, being healthier than ever before, reaching every one of your goals and not being afraid, removing every obstacle, fighting every demon, but staying as positive as possible. And I want you to repeat after me. You could either say it out loud, and as you listen to the bowl in the background, releasing this great and positive and beautiful energy, you could say this out louder in your spirit. I am beautiful. I am wonderfully made. I am already rich. I am successful. I have what I need. I am going for my dreams. My community is rich. My community lacks nothing. My community is healthy and wealthy. I love my neighbors. I love my family. I am a giver. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Listen to the Tibetan bowl. Feel the energy that you've received today. Keep your eyes closed or open your eyes. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel the vibrations. Think about love. Think about harmony. Envision a better world. Be in love with yourself again. And I'm hearing in the spirit to trust again, to grow, and to follow your heart and your dreams. Thank you to each and every one of you for being a part of our workshop tonight. And we want to make sure that you really go out there and accomplish greatness. Stay in touch with us. Let us know how you're doing. Join our WhatsApp at 347-617-6873. And tell a friend some of the great things that you've learned. And let's work on economic growth, empowerment, strategies. And like Denise stated a few weeks ago, let's see about working together to buy some properties in our community. Thank you guys so much. David, you rock. Little Davy, I love you. Ty, thank you. Mama Brenda, I'll see you guys back at NAN this Saturday. We did it, guys. Where's the Africa? Can you show us Africa? That's nice, right, Curtis? And who made that, sister? Who made it?
That is Bohemian Black. That's one of my best friends from when we was little. We used to play ball together. She ascended to all kinds of wonderful, amazing things. And she's an amazing woman now. She's a teacher, she's a mom, she's a wife, and she does these amazing things like making clothing that is just beautiful and inspiring, reminding us of our culture and our roots. She also makes crystals and things like that, or sells them. And she sells sage bundles with the rose petals in it, and she blesses everything. So I love her to death.
And her name again?
Bohemian Black.
Bohemian Black. We have to support our sister for sure. Thank you, Denise. Yeah, put that in the chat message and on WhatsApp. David, you're unmuted. What did you want to say?
I want to say this last statement. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. You'll say that one more time. Every day,
in every
way, I'm getting better and better. Good night, everyone. God loves you.
God loves you. Thank you, guys. We did it. See you guys. Bye. All right, guys, we did it. There you have it, folks. Ty, I love you, Mama Brenda. Ty, I got you with the LLC information. Let's make it happen.
Thank you, no problem. I appreciate that. This was a great workshop. You definitely did your thing putting this together.
Listen, you took some notes, Ty? Did you take some notes?
Of course, come on. You know I did. You know I did. And I was in the inbox like, what's your number? What's your number? Yeah, because I'm going to hit you up. You know that. But I appreciate you always for the opportunity. I love you, sis.
I love you.
Have a blessed night.
See you at NAN on Saturday, guys.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Right. Bye, Mama Brenda. She's still there? Mama Brenda.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Beautiful, beautiful. Great job.
I love you.
Great job.
Thank you. See you soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Woo, we did it, guys. It's your girl, ANIA, shutting it down for the workshop. And this concludes the ANIA show as well, because you know, a sister is too tired to be on live again for another 2 hours. I'm gonna give myself a break, and I may go get myself something sweet to, oh, I do have something sweet right here to munch on. All right, I deserve it. And then I'll be back to my salads tomorrow, right? That's right. Good night, guys. Love all of you. Peace and blessings.